going on? This is Colin's process. Wow, I actually got that the first time. I don't usually do that. I usually mess up and say the process. This time I did it. Tuning into Colin's process. Thank you so much for being here. Today's interview, or this week, I'm speaking with Jonathan Levy, aka Jay Gucci. I've known Jay Gucci since high school. I don't know, maybe 15 years, around like that. And when I first met him, he was just like me, just a kid getting into trouble, all sorts of trouble. Not the regular kind of trouble, a little higher end trouble. And when he got out of school, I would still see him around, and he was always making music. But he wouldn't just do that. He would MC shows. He was a DJ. He had his hands in a lot of different things. But the one thing he was always doing was being very entrepreneurial. So the last time I saw him, he was doing photography, and he's become really, really good at photography. Not just the editing process, but actually shooting and concepting and everything like that. Amazing, amazing photographer. Definitely go and check him out. Yeah, but we just had a conversation about how he did that, because he's literally somebody I watched have a basic idea of what he wanted to do. We actually, we actually sat in my car, or his car. We were sitting in his car, and we were talking about this in front of Max. And those of you who don't know what Max is, it's like a plaza, blah, blah, blah. I don't know. But yeah, we were sitting in front of a convenience store, sitting in the car, and we were talking about our ideas. And I was talking about how I wanted to do podcasts, and I wanted to do video, and I wanted to expand on that. And he was talking about how he wanted to get into higher end photography, and he actually did it. I did it too, but he really did it. He's been a photographer for Danier, amongst many other brands, and yeah, he's just doing really big things. So I wanted to sit down and talk with him, pick his brain, see how it works, and just get an insight into how he did it. And yeah, it was a fun conversation, really fun. I actually had an opportunity to work with him, and I messed it up. And I'm going to talk about things like this from time to time, especially if they're prevalent to the interview. We're supposed to work together on some things, and just for anybody listening, mental health is a serious thing. And I was going through an episode of sorts, nothing too crazy. Just every once in a while I get depressed. I get really down. I kind of cut myself off from people. And that's what in the midst of us working together, I had one of those bouts, and it just never ended up happening. I think it's my way of sabotaging myself. I was afraid of that success, because we were supposed to do some video work together, and when he goes after something, he goes and he gets it. And I think I was a little bit afraid, and I pulled back. And if you're listening, Jonathan, really, really sorry about that. He's an amazing talent. We had an amazing conversation, and I hope to have one again. Here is Jonathan Levy, Jay Gucci. You are now listening to The Process with Colin Cummings. That's my intro song right now. You like that? That's it. That's all I got. That's just what you're used to.
I know.
You need some bottles and everything.
Yeah, we should have some bottles in here. We're talking about this,
Bro, I wore a dress shirt just because it was you. I was like, yeah, this guy's coming.
I was going to.
I was like, this
Should
guy's
I go
coming.
Change?
Nah, not even. Anybody can wear whatever they want on this podcast. Oh shit, I should line you up properly.
I don't hear anything.
You don't hear anything?
No. Check. I hear nothing.
You can't hear anything?
No.
That's so weird. Oh shit, your headphones. There you
Yeah, now I hear me.
Sure.
Now I sound like I'm on the radio.
There you go.
Oh shit, we're on live.
There you go. That's how it works.
That's it.
You're officially on a podcast now.
So we're live.
Yeah. Well, not live, but we're recording. There you go.
Hey.
Done.
All right.
First one.
That's the process then.
There you go. There, you're on there. I'm on there. We're good to go.
I like it.
Man, it's been a while.
It's been a while.
Man, this is crazy. I wanted to interview for a long time. I mean, when did I interview Kobe? I interviewed Kobe about, I want to say, not a year, but almost. Like, because I moved out where I was living. I saw him. And then I was like, I always ask a guest if they know anybody else that I should interview. And he was just like, he's like, Jay Gucci right away. Like right away. And he reminded me a bunch of times too. And it sucks because you know what happened with Kobe's interview? I had 40 interviews on a hard drive and the hard drive went bad.
No.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
Yeah, man. It sucked, man, because he came because you know where Kobe
Yeah,
was.
you got to bring him all the way down
Yeah.
again. You got to make sure like air traffic control is good, and
Yeah.
next time you want him down here.
And I had him here for like 2 hours. I had him like we did a 2-hour podcast, and then I have it still, but I only have like a quarter of it, like 40 minutes of the talk.
Like, hi, my name is Kobe, and then
40 minutes.
this is the process.
It was man, that pissed me off a lot, man. It was a good episode too. I edited it really well. I made it black and white and shit.
No gray.
Huh?
No gray.
No. Well, I guess yeah.
I'm just messing.
His hair, his beard hair.
I got like 4 of those coming in.
Do you?
Yeah, but
Bro, I found 3.
those lighting's really good.
I found 3. I was really upset.
I mean, like, you can pluck them, but really, how long are you gonna do that for?
I tried. I did it twice because I found 1 and I was like, let me get that.
Yeah, let me get that.
And then I found like 3 more and I was like, fuck. I didn't even find them. My girlfriend thought like I had fluff on my face and she's like, that's a white hair. I was like, get away from me.
I think they're revenge hairs after the first 3. If you try and take them out,
Yeah,
you're gonna see more because they're like, oh no.
It was in the same area.
Yeah.
Where I plucked it.
You gotta be careful.
Fuck. Whatever. Let's let it come. You just gotta let it come, man.
That's it.
We're in our 30s. I always tell people you're closer to 50 than you are to 10 when you're our age.
Well, we're still closer to 10 than we are to 100. So
There you go. Right.
that's cool.
New developments will live to 100.
Right.
Man. So I was on my stories, my Instagram stories, and I was like, I was saying how you're a rapper. You were a rapper and you switched to photography.
Yeah.
And I just want to go over, how did you make that switch? Because like what I like to do with this whole thing is I like to think of a person who's like in the position that we were, like working some shitty job that they don't like.
Yeah.
And they feel like they might be able to do something else, but
And
they're just
break out.
not sure. Yeah, that breakout, but they're not sure the steps. So I guess we can go from rapper to photographer, but like how did you get into photography at all? Like what steps did you take
So
to
like,
make that happen?
all of it kind of started in the same place. Like you were saying, where did you start from before you decided to do something you love, work shitty jobs, right? I think we all work shitty jobs.
Yeah, man.
Just to get by. But I used to be a promoter, right? So I used to be in the clubs. I used to promote. I used to DJ at some point. I was the host. I was the MC, and I was hosting these events on College Street with my boy Mike Stone, DJ Mike Stone, veteran of Toronto.
True.
He should be on the process.
I'm down.
For sure. And we're there one day. He's DJing this event, and I start hosting it. And I used to make music, but I used to like beatbox for my friends who rap. And then at home, I used to write some music. And I always used to call Stone and Kobe, actually. And I used to say, hey, guys, check this out. I just wrote this, right? And that was frequent. That was like all the time. Like every night, I would just be at home writing because I couldn't sleep. And one day we're at the event, and Stone's like, why don't you just go spit one of your songs? And I'm like, nah, I'm not a rapper,
For real?
Yeah, that's how it happened. And hopped on the stage. I was pretty good. I had fun. And then, hit the stage again just for fun, like in these little Toronto shows, little showcases here and there. It was cool. And then I hosted a couple of my own shows and just for fun. And then it started being a thing. I used to get on that stage and the energy and just being in the limelight. And people started liking my music. And I had friends say, hey, where can I get that song? And I'm like, you want to get the song? You got to come to the show because I never recorded anything, right?
True.
So,
and that's a slick line too.
Yeah, exactly, right?
Yeah.
So $5. No, I'm just kidding, right? But yeah, it was cool. It was cool. So I started doing that, and then recorded a couple songs, and people were feeling it, and I sent them out to a bunch of people, and then I sent it to a buddy of mine in UK, and then he started playing it there, and people started liking it, and then it hit somewhere in the UK radio or online radio in the top 100. It was cool. Then I got interviewed in Israel when I went, because my cousin's a big producer in Israel.
True.
Yeah, that's Dvir Kalan. He's a big producer there, and he's doing his thing there. And in Miami now, I saw him branch out. So yeah, shout out to my cousin. And then I met a radio host over there through him in his studio.
Yeah.
And he brought me in, gave me a radio interview.
True.
Played my music. We probably did a little 4 songs breakup for people to listen to.
Yeah. I know what you mean.
And then he called one of the top, I might even say top 2 artists in Israel, and we had an interview together. So I was in the studio and he was on the phone.
Okay.
And we had a joint interview, and it was pretty cool. We got to talk to each other, and that was awesome. But after a while, like that was my early 20s, or late teens until my early 20s. And when I was 25, or just before, that's when I really picked up the camera. But my first reason for getting a camera was because as an artist, I was paying for all these photo shoots, and it just didn't make sense. I'm paying all this money out, and the entrepreneur in me was like, well, why don't I just buy the camera? And I was rapping with a guy who went to school for it, and I said, hey, why don't you use my camera for school, but when I need a photo shoot, just take my photos.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
That's
right?
actually really smart.
Yeah. So I bought the studio. I bought like this backdrop, the lights and this and that, and the camera. And I said, hey, just take my photos, and here's a camera for school, basically.
Wow.
Yeah.
I might even do that with this stuff.
Right, why
for
not?
some kid that's in school.
Right. Then then Oso opened. That was the club that I started doing photography at, because I had the camera at that point and I was a promoter already. And when it opened, instead of hiring a photographer, I did the photography.
Okay.
So that was cool. And then a few people saw me with the camera. Then my friend James got married, and he's like, hey, can you shoot my wedding? I'm like, I don't know if you want me to shoot your wedding. Like, I have a camera, but I'm not a photographer, like
True.
the nightclubs or whatever, you can't go wrong.
Yeah.
Like, what do you, especially when you're partying like we are, any photo is going to look good.
Yeah.
But, I did his wedding, and then someone else liked it, and he liked it, and I enjoyed doing it. And, I think that's when I was like, you know what, rapping's fun and all, but I don't want to be 30 and broke. So
True.
I wanted, so I had another job. I had a day job. I was in sales. At that point, I kind of cleaned up my life and got a normal job, because, that's what my mom was like, can you just get like a real job? And I was like, I can, like, it's not a problem. Like, I'll show you, boom, landed a corporate job, killed it. But, so I was doing that, and I'm like, I don't want to be 30 and broke. So, I was just working hard. And with my photography at that point, I said, I want to be a photographer. And I just kind of started learning, went on some trips, met some really influential photographers, and never looked back. Went into huge debt.
True.
But here I am today. So it was all worth it. And then you got to take that leap of faith.
Yeah. Yeah. That's the big thing, right? Like, not worrying about the debt. Well, I mean, not ignoring it, but like still seeing the vision of what you want,
and seeing like what it's going to take. I think once you make a plan and figure out what it's going to take to get out of that debt, or to not be in debt, or to make something worth it, that's kind of where you have to be. It's a lot of planning, and dedication. You can't get deterred by failures.
Yeah, that's really true.
Failures aren't really failures. Failures are learning lessons. Failures are like, you can't succeed if you don't fail. You know what I mean? You're not going to just go start something and be like, oh my God, I made $1 million. Right?
Yeah. That's what people feel like, but
it
never turns out that way.
All that hashtag goals, those come on. There's a photographer in the background. Where do you think that photo came from? Like there's nothing's real. It's also, like all the images that people look and say, sit on their social media, take that deep breath and look back and be like, oh my God, what am I doing wrong? You're not doing anything wrong. You're just not that person. You're not doing that. You know what I mean? You want to do that? Cool. Go hire somebody. Go rent out a bunch of Airbnbs. Get a pretty girl or a pretty boy, and just go make your lifestyle photos. Hashtag it. You know what I mean?
It's so true, man. Like, especially, you probably feel the same way, but as soon as I started working with film and like cameras and everything, I started to like look at social media and pictures and videos a lot differently because I'm like, I know this isn't real. I know exactly what this is now.
Yeah. How did that come to that? Before you were like, wow. Now you're like,
Yeah, you're like,
see what you did there.
Yeah. Right? You can see the glare in your glasses. You can see the reflection.
Yeah, right. See you standing in the window.
Yeah.
Yeah, but no, straight up though. Yeah, you look at things now and you go, that's not real, right? But other people, like, you wouldn't even know, right?
Exactly.
If you don't know, you don't know.
Yeah.
Like, I Photoshop. I'll just,
Yeah. Of course.
Like, for anything, advertising, regular photos, lifestyle, headshots, like whether it's just getting rid of a wrinkle or changing your eye color. Like,
True.
You would never know.
That's true. I never thought of changing the eye color. Yeah, you could do that. Easy. I tried not to do it. So like with this whole thing, podcasting, I don't do that. But at a certain point, you do have to do it. You have to change this. Maybe somebody looks too white, maybe they're too dark,
or even your lighting was off.
Yeah, exactly.
Right.
Like
anything.
There's so much that goes into that kind of stuff that I realized. Actually, you know what? I was on my last video shoot that I was on. It was like for this politician, and we were going with him as he went door to door, and he was doing the whole door to door thing, introducing himself to people, and they didn't know how it all worked in video, so in photography, so they didn't prepare the people beforehand. Because usually in video, what you'll do is you'll go to a neighborhood and be like, this guy's coming. Do you want to talk to this guy? Do you want to be on camera? And they'll agree or they'll disagree or they'll get dressed up, know? Mm-hmm. And they didn't do any of that. And we're like, yeah, next time, when you call us, maybe you should do that. That way it'll look better and the people will be dressed for it. Because it was Sunday. Everybody was like, anytime you asked, they were like, no, I don't want to be on camera right now. Right. And the guy's like, I just want it to be really professional. Like, when you see on the news... Or he's like, I want it to be really authentic. When you see on the news and you see a politician going from door to door, and I'm like, bro, that's staged. Like they set that up beforehand. Yeah. He's like, no. I'm like, yeah, of course. Like, what do you think? Like, do you know what kind of craziness you'd get on camera if you didn't like prepare people?
Yeah.
and you just went to a neighborhood? Yeah. It'd be insane.
They'd probably have to also go and, it's on TV. They got to sign those waivers, bro.
Exactly. That's exactly it. A lot of waivers. We didn't have any of that. It was fun. It was funny. It was a really good shoot, but like not that part. That part we didn't get anything, but it was a really cool experience to do it. It was like a documentary type thing.
And that comes back to things that aren't a failure. It's not a failure, it's a learning lesson, right?
Yeah, exactly. We learned that like when you're in, I don't know if you feel the same way, like when you're in like film and stuff, you kind of feel like people will just instinctively know certain things. That's common knowledge to you when it's like not. Like we thought like for sure like these guys know that they're gonna have to bring waivers. They know that. Obviously they know that. Right. And they're like, no, what? Yeah. They had no idea. They didn't know like all these little things. So now we know to prep people like that.
Right.
More so, But yeah, that's how you got into it, eh? That's how you got. It's really crazy. And I wonder if you would have gotten on stage if your buddy had prepped you like while you guys were like just chilling at like his house, like, yo man, you're gonna go on stage. If you would have been like cool, or if you would have been like, yo, hold on a second. I think like I feel like the fact that there was like no prep behind it, it was just like a lot of passion, and then it's like, hey, I remember you're passionate, you want to get on stage, and then all of a sudden you're just like, yeah, let's do it.
I mean I'm pretty sure at points he's like, yo, you should perform that, and I was like, nah.
Right.
And then we were there and it was live, and I was just like, he's just like, just do it, just And I was like, all right, I'll try it. Like
that's, man,
you can't be scared to try new things. I think that's the main thing, because even as a photographer, it's not about me deciding to be a photographer. I also have grown as a photographer as well, right? Like in the field, within the field, and in the rankings, right? Because I wasn't a photographer. I was a guy with a camera before, right? That just happened to have the connections that led me, or a network that led me to shooting different things. But then as I got better and self-taught, and when I say self-taught, I mean I didn't go to school for it, but I had mentors that helped me and pushed me and helped me to get better. And a lot of the things that I didn't know when people weren't around, I would research.
True.
Because all the knowledge that you would learn in school is online. It's just that some people can't, and I'm not saying that they can't. I'm just saying it's harder for some people to learn by themselves without somebody to like be there to direct you.
Definitely.
Or put it in sequence, right?
Definitely.
I learned the basics of Photoshop though, and I had a good eye. You know what I mean? So I learned the basics of Photoshop in high school, because we used to make little like ads and this and that from images that we found online and play around with this and that. And then in the clubs, I knew a lot of designers, right? So, and graphic designers, right? So I could ask them questions too and say, hey, I want to put this image in like a triangle, for example, So they'd show me how to like create a mask for, how to do that, how to place things and just, a little. So I took those little things, and then with my knowledge and then like playing around, and then like common sense kicks in once you have a basic idea of what the tools do, right? But from there, right, I kind of went from shooting events to shooting that guy's wedding. And that was like really inspirational for me when I got the feedback that was good. And that's when I kind of pursued it harder. But again, I was just a guy with a camera until I started learning. And then I went on a few trips. And I remember I went to Florida for the first time. And I went down there with DJ Mew. She's awesome. And she was DJing down there. And then I ended up being her MC for fun,
True.
And because that's what I do, right? And then I met a few people down there, and we ended up shooting some photos with these awesome models, and one or two of them was a Playboy model as well. And I was like, wow, this is like so unreal. It's pretty cool, right? Yeah, it's awesome, right? And I went down there, I rented a car, I stayed with one of the I stayed at someone's house over there that was a friend of our mutual friends and DJ Mew and them, right? And then in the daytimes we would get together to shoot, and at nighttime I'd just go back and sleep at the crib, wake up the next day, and we'd all go back to doing something interesting.
True.
And we had an amazing weekend. I got a tattoo. Actually, we all got a tattoo that day. Or like at the end of the trip, we all got a tattoo. I literally, the end of my trip, went there, sat down in this tattoo artist's chair. She tattooed this diamond on me. And 2 hours later, I was at the airport going home.
True.
So that's an experience I'd never forget. And also a milestone of, me kind of, I don't know where I am, and living and meeting some of the people and the photographers that I met along the way as well, right? And on that trip. So that was definitely a milestone for me. So.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
That's crazy. From being from I'm just gonna get this camera and just take some pictures to like now there's like a Playboy modeled in
the picture.
Yeah.
And I took that. Wait, you let me take that? All right, cool.
Yeah, right.
Thanks, guys. Like, yeah, so much love right there. Like, I'm nobody, but like, everybody's love, especially when you see people and you meet people through people. Mm-hmm. It's already like a bond, right?
Yeah,
so,
exactly.
Like, my friend is your friend. If you ever brought a friend to my house, I treat him with the same respect as I would treat you, right?
Yeah, there's that rapport.
Yeah, right? There's that rapport, right? So that's kind of how that went down. That was really cool. And then I just started building from there. I enjoyed it. The model shoots, I was shooting models for a while.
Yeah.
But I was always trying to do more of the commercial and lifestyle-y stuff. I always want to do advertising and, because everywhere you go, there's a photo, right?
Yeah, of course.
Levi's, Toyota, this, that. It could be literally anything,
Always.
Soda Stream, like whatever,
Yeah,
Anywhere you look, there's visual advertising, videos or photos. You go on the TTC or you look at a bus, there's a picture of a movie or real estate agent or
always
something, right? A bus stop, chairs, anything, right? So that's the stuff that I wanted to get into. And then I got my break last year, which was kind of cool. So
last year, what was that with? Was that with Danier?
With Danier, yeah. That was the first corporate. That was the first big corporate shoot that I've done. Maybe not the first big corporate shoot, but in terms of name recognition, for like general people, that's a brand that I could say that everybody knows, right?
Definitely, 100%.
Yeah, but and then last year I also got to shoot the CEO of the Carrot app.
True.
Which is huge, right?
Yeah.
If people don't know, that's the rewards program, and I think they have 400,000 or 500,000 active users every day.
Really?
Every day.
Yeah, my girlfriend actually sent me that app. She's like, do this, do that, because she like wanted something. Like,
Yeah.
it was like some referral kind of thing.
Collect rewards for me.
Yeah. It was something like that. She
Yeah.
was like, get it. That's crazy.
Right?
I didn't even know you did that one.
Yeah, I joined the Waterfront magazine last year. Well, like I didn't join them, but I did a shoot for the Waterfront magazine last year,
True.
and I got to shoot shot clear.
Oh yeah. I remember seeing something about that, and I was like, "Holy shit,
That's
like
cool.
that's a real legend." Right
Yeah,
there.
real legend. Last year was 20 year. It was his anniversary of Northern Touch.
Oh really?
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Let's ride. Right? Oh my
Northern
God.
Touch.
Yeah, Northern Touch.
Yeah,
20-year
can't
anniversary
ride
last
with
year.
us. No,
Right?
Oh my god.
Yeah. So like what an icon, right? And I met Shot Clear before, like maybe I think 2 years ago or 3 years ago at another event.
Yeah.
You know, it was cool. It was like a mansion party for a good cause. And then when we did the shoot, it was like, hey, what's up, big guy? Right, we're all here. And then there were some really influential people in that magazine, that issue, and it was the first fashion spread that Waterfront magazine has ever done.
True.
And I was the photographer for it, so that was cool. And then that led me to meet a few people, and now I'm actually on the board of directors for Spencer magazine.
Oh really?
Yeah, and Spencer magazine is going to be an oversized tabletop magazine, glossy, nice solid print. That's going to incorporate a lot of fashion into it.
True.
But as well, it's also going to represent talent of all ages.
Okay.
Right, things around the world. There's a lot of charitable causes that Spencer's involved in as well. So
Yeah.
that'll be really cool. There's so many interesting concepts and ideas that we're coming out with right now, and the team is awesome. So yeah, that's something to look forward for this year. Yeah, and a lot of things manifested last year though. Yeah,
It's crazy, man. That's nuts. And then, you know what's the funny thing is, like, that was like last year, and I forget when it was, but I remember sitting at the plaza and we were in your car, and you're like, we were talking about what we wanted to do with like video, and you were talking about photography.
Right.
And you're like, I want to get into this. I want to like do like bigger shoots, and like if I could go to Paris or get some kind of commercial thing going on. And then all of a sudden I saw it, and I was like, holy shit.
So that's true actually, because we spoke about that just casually, and I was saying, yeah, I want to shoot brands, I want to do fashion.
Yeah.
I was actually speaking about this to a stranger that I met on the airplane when I was coming home from shooting in Thailand, and I had a layover in China. And I don't know if it was before or after that, but I was literally speaking about manifesting things into reality by just putting them out in the universe.
True.
And while I'm talking to this stranger, I'm talking about this book by Tony Robbins. I can't remember which one it was, but it was in my bag, and I was talking about it to him. And what does he do? He pulls out the book from his bag. Same book, okay? Check this out. A buddy of mine decides he's got to get up. He's got to go grab something or something, and he leaves. But the seats, we're in a whole row, all of us.
Yeah.
And he gets up. He's in the middle of the row, and a lady sits down beside us, and we're all kind of talking over her. So I said, hey, you want to switch seats with me so that we're not talking over you. And she agrees. Cool. And then me and her start talking, and I swear I just finished talking to this guy about my photography and what I'm doing, and I want to do fashion and this and that, and then manifesting, and then the Tony Robbins similarity happens, right? And we both pull out the book, and the lady starts talking to me and says, and we're getting talking, and she says that she was in China for production. She's a producer, and I'm like, oh no way, that's awesome. I just came from Thailand from shooting, right? And we're talking, and I'm going, so what did you produce in China? She goes, I produced the Victoria's Secret fashion show.
Yes, you actually did tell me about this. So
Crazy,
that happened
right?
Just before, yeah.
How awesome is that?
Crazy.
And she ended up being the producer and managing director of Fashion TV.
True.
Fashion TV, huge. That's Victoria's Secret is her client.
Wow.
That's how awesome that was. And we start talking, and I'm blown away, right? I'm like I'm not a type of, like, I meet so many people, so I'm not that kind of person to be like, wow, there's a celebrity, I'm like amazed, right? And I was like, oh my God, I'm so excited.
Yeah.
Like, inside I was so happy and so excited, and I just finished talking about this whole
Yeah, when
oh,
it happens so close together, you're
yeah,
talking about manifestation, then you see.
right, and then bam, 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 3 in a row, and the last one's like,
Yeah.
okay, it's like firecracker, firecracker, grand finale, you know, like it was off the hook. It was amazing, and then she gives me her card. I ask her for her card, and her card is a diamond shaped card. That's exactly the same as the tattoo that I got in Florida.
Oh fuck yeah! Wow. Yeah. I remember you mentioning that.
How cool is that? And I go,
That's
hey, check this
crazy.
out. And I roll up my sleeve and I put her card on top of my tattoo. And I'm like, look at that. It's
That's crazy.
cool, right?
That is that. Yeah, I didn't realize that it was a diamond shaped card. I forgot it. Like, wow.
Yeah, I've got that card above my desk pinned to my motivation board slash
Like the vision
things
board.
to do. My vision board, I meant
Yeah.
slash things to do. And I've got my business card underneath it.
Yeah,
And
why
it's
not?
like, this is my business. And beside hers, it says, get to this level.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
True. That's sick. Here, let's hit reset. That's exactly what you have to do, right? Just gotta make sure because we're about to hit that time. Man, that's nuts. So obviously you're a big believer in manifestation, right?
I am now. I mean, yeah, there are some things that led me to it.
True.
Yeah, for sure.
True.
For sure. No, yeah.
How'd you get into that? How'd you get into like believing into that kind of thing?
I mean, in my social network, there are people who have definitely motivated me or have brought beliefs to the table that just made sense. You know, I've always been a spiritual person,
Yeah.
and the idea of manifestation has always been real to me because of the similarity to karma, right? Or, treat others how you would want to be treated is another big one, because you can take that two ways. Yeah, you just want to be nice to people so that, because you wouldn't want someone to be a shitty person to you.
Yeah. True.
But that's also an energy. So if I'm nice to you, then you're the frequency in which you rate me is going to be higher than a shitty person who's, conceited and self-absorbed and, would rather step on somebody to get a level up,
Yeah.
as opposed to build somebody to to level up together. Right.
Yeah.
Things like that. Right. So all of that, once I kind of started hearing people talk about manifestation and this and that and putting the energies out, and that's when I started making the associations and started seeing that the people that were really positive and believe in themselves are really creating their future. They're really sculpting their future right now, and they're doing it how they want. And it might have been a far-fetched or hard to do, but like it's happening.
Yeah. Definitely.
Yeah.
Man. Yeah, it's very true when it comes to the manifestation, putting the energy out there, because like you put it out there and then you become perceived as that person. So like if you're shitty to somebody, you'll be perceived as that.
Always.
And then you'll get treated like that. And then you'll attract that.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Because somebody out there, people out there are thinking of you like that kind of thing. It's crazy. It's crazy the way it all works. I've been watching it work like I want to say like magic, like recently. Been seeing a lot of synchronicities happening, and it's all good shit, really good shit. But yeah, yours was like, I was actually watching yours happen. I was like, yo, this is so weird. This guy's like doing it. And then it was like thing after thing, and then you got the interview with Yoshi, I believe.
Yeah, I did it with Designers TV.
Yeah.
And that was covering my shoot with Danier.
Yeah, exactly. And I
Yeah.
was like, wow, this guy's doing it.
So we did it behind the scenes of my Danier shoot, and then we turned it into an interview as well for Designer TV.
True.
Which was cool because it also got some traction.
Yeah.
The interview itself got some traction.
Definitely.
And also last year, I recreated my website because I had a website. I didn't like it. I took it down and then recreated it the way that I wanted it to look.
Mm-hmm.
And plus all the new material and stuff was more representative of me.
True.
More accurately representative of me. So
Upgrades. Everything had to get upgraded.
Everything. Last year was my 6th year in business, and this is my 7th year now. But last year, a lot happened because I was able to say, okay, I'm good. I'm ready. Like I have everything I need from A to B to create the content that I want to create in the way that I want to create it. Right. There was always like a weak link somewhere, and the final piece was my computer upgrade. Right. Because when I started photography, I had a Rebel T3i and I had a netbook. Okay.
Really?
Yeah. I had an internet netbook with
Jeez.
Photoshop on it. Okay. Check this out. With Photoshop on it.
Photoshop only,
Photoshop. I basically, all right. But check this out. I don't even know. I still have it. I haven't got rid of it.
Yeah.
That's
an artifact.
I can't. Yeah, it's in my room. It's like cannot. It's there. It's like it gets dusted. It's like it's part of my life. Okay. And my buddy David made made an action that would grab the photos from the file that it was stored in after I put it on the computer.
Okay.
Put it into the program, watermark it, export it. Put it into the program, watermark it, export it. Right.
Really?
And it would, yeah. And that would take like 24 hours. So, okay, and that's
24 hours.
Yeah, and I couldn't really change. I had to make 2 albums. I had to make an album with the photos in landscape, and I had to make another ones that the photos were in portrait. And I had to go into I set the action for each one, and I had to put the watermark on like the side on an angle so it would work on both of them.
Holy.
Yeah, it was so ugly. It was.
Anybody who's like just getting into their 20s is like, what the fuck is he saying right now?
Right? Yeah, what's a netbook?
Yeah.
Honestly, my netbook was slower than my cell phone now. So
yeah, right.
Yeah, so I mean, it was a struggle, but I made it happen. I had a bicycle light on my flash so I could see.
Wow.
At night to get a focus. That's how like primitive.
Holy.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Now I've got 2 cameras that I could only have dreamed of when I was, starting this back then. I've got my upgrade back then was my MacBook Pro in 2012, which I was really lucky to get that because after that they started making them that you couldn't change the pieces.
Yeah.
Right. So I started with like a 4 gigs 500 hard drive, 2.5 i5. Now it's a 16 gig because I could upgrade it myself. To 16 gigs with the new Sierra, and a 500. And I replaced the hard drive to a solid state. So I got really good performance out of it. True. And it worked and it was great. And I traveled the world with it. It's awesome, great computer. And then last year, finally, after I got one of the most amazing cameras I've ever worked with, and it's just it took the photos the way that I always wanted to take photos. And then I got an iMac, which was like a huge step for me. It's like I can edit raw, I can edit whatever I want, and it's flawless. Things I can only dream of before. And it really helped me upgrade my game. And because I was finally rounded, I finally had all the pieces to the puzzle to turn my visions into reality.
True.
Yeah, so that was awesome. And then this year I just bought the newer version of the camera I had before, which was like, cool.
Yeah.
I got some kick-ass.
True, that's crazy.
Yeah, and I'm a gadget nerd, right? So it's not just that, like, I'm a photographer with a cool camera. It's like, that's a cool camera, dude. Like,
yeah.
Like I'm.
But you get that way
stuff.
as you start to like work with all this stuff. You get that way a lot because you start to realize. Like every single thing becomes like more because it's like, oh, what can I do with that?
Right.
It's like, it's not just like technology anymore. It's like it could be like an appendage. It's like a part of your body. And it's like,
exactly.
I can upgrade myself with this.
Right. I swear it's true.
Man, that's nuts.
Yeah, I care more about my equipment than my car, bro.
Right. I think about that. Yeah, I definitely think about that. Like if right now I could buy like a new camera, I'd be like, should I fix my clutch or should I get a new camera? Clutch a holdout.
I literally just bought the new camera instead of fixing the car. And before I bought this camera, I was gonna go finance a new car and drop all this money on towards the finance, right?
True.
But the opportunity presented itself. And I was like, hell yeah.
And that's the thing, right? Like when it comes to like getting a new camera, it's like the deal you told me you got, it's like you can't pass that up.
You can't pass that up. Even if I found a great deal on the car, which one, it would still outweigh it, because
100%.
the car's not making me money. Yeah. I can drive any car to get to where I'm going.
Uber.
And I could Uber it, right? Yeah. Like back in the day, I had nicer cars than I do now.
True.
Right? Because I was always in the industry. I was always in the scene. I felt like image was everything, you know?
Yeah.
So I got, you know, my nice white BMW and this and that, and back in the day, and, you know, and now it's like, dude, I'm like around the coolest people now, and nobody's like, hey, what car you drive?
Yeah, right?
You know? It's not. I think you drive whatever makes you feel good, if that's what makes you feel as good. And if not, you just you got to get to A and B to live, to make sure you're showing up.
Yeah, exactly, right? That's what really matters, is like the person that gets out of the car, not the car itself.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
I mean, it's kind of weird dressing up in a really nice suit and hopping out of a Civic, but
but what's the problem, right?
But what's the problem? It's not. It's society that makes us feel like that's the problem.
Yeah, that's so true.
Yeah,
that's really true. I think of that a lot, because I gotta focus, right? Like, and it's just like whatever. But you know, I actually want to get a Civic. That's what I'm thinking of, Camry or a Civic.
Yeah, I'm thinking what to do. You know, when those repairs come up, it's like, okay, you know, probably the right decision is to just go and fix it and drive it, so when you do buy a car, I feel like a car shouldn't be something that you have to think about. I think it should be X amount percentage of whatever your income is that's affordable. True. Right? You should never have to buy anything that is not needed, that stresses you to maintain it or keep it.
True.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, because if you're gonna, let's say you make a couple grand a month, let's just say $2,000, $3,000 a month, but easy number, because let's say your rent is $1,000, and then your car payment, at least your insurance is a couple hundred, 300, right? I've got braces, right? So I got my that's just something else, right? It's small. I could pay it off, but it's not. It's a payment.
It's there,
right? Yeah. So it's a payment I got to consider, right? Your phone, your internet, you know, whatever your expenses come
Everything.
out to.
Yeah.
So if you're only left with your, you know, $500, or you're saving whatever, $500 a month, you want to go spend that $350 or another $400 on a car?
Yeah. And
then you're like, oh man, that's really tight at the end of the day. Where's your savings, right? Like,
true.
There's no point to just live rich and die poor, you know?
True.
So
yeah, that is very true, right? Like, you got to think about that.
Yeah, I think that's a lot of people struggle with that. And you know, if you're one of those people that really cares what other people think about, don't go out. No, really though, because think about it like this: the people that these people are envying, that are stressing them out about, oh, I want to be like them, it's because all they're doing is going out and making content.
True.
Right? Do you ever see that person at the grocery store? Do you see them? You know, you don't. You see them on social media, taking vacations and, you know, so save your money, take a vacation, take a whole bunch of photos. You know what I mean?
That's so
Come back home and start posting one a day. You want to be an influencer? That's what you do.
That's true.
You know what I mean? And you could go to Europe, because you could just fly to Europe and start every day, just go another 10 kilometers east, west, wherever you want.
Take a train here.
Eventually you'll end up in Paris from Amsterdam, or Amsterdam to England, or England to Germany. Like, you know, go wherever you want, right?
That's true, actually.
Yeah. You want to be a content creator. You want to be like something like that. You really care what's going on in the world. To individuals that don't care about what's going on in the world, then you know, people got to think outside the boxes.
Yeah, that's actually really true. Just don't go out. Yeah, I find that to be actually true, because like I haven't gone to a club or anything in years, and when I did, you do, like, you want to, like Gary Vee calls it, keep up with the Joneses. Like you want to be like, you see people, you're like, okay, you see that car, you see this guy with these girls, it's like, okay, what, like, you trying to like calculate, okay, he has this and this, he's getting this many bottles, means he's spending this much, and then all of a sudden you feel like, okay, for me to be that equivalent, I have to now spend this much. I have to look this way and all that stuff. And if you minus yourself from that atmosphere, all of a sudden that starts to like go down dramatically, right? But you actually do go out. So how do you keep that level-headedness even though you're in that scene?
Well, I mean, for me, when I go out, I don't go out because I'm trying to be like project an image and be like, okay, I'm out here popping bottles and having fun all the time. But like, I'm a photographer, so half of the time when people see me out, it's because I'm working.
True.
Right? That's like half the time. Another time is because just I don't go. I'm not the type, like, yeah, me and my friends will go out and we'll, get some bottle service, but you won't catch us at the clubs every weekend spending $1,000 to show off. You know what I mean? Like, there's no doubt. Half the time I don't go out. I go, and if I do go out, I'm going out to work. So I'm partying, but I'm also getting paid.
True.
But I'm also creating content.
Yeah.
Right. And then I might put it on social media just because I'm having a good time doing what I do, right?
Of course.
And even a lot of the traveling. I'm traveling, but I'm traveling for work.
Yeah.
I went to Thailand, Spain, Nicaragua, England, Israel, right? Cuba, Mexico.
True.
Florida. And I think only one of those trips was not for work.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
See, yeah, exactly, right? So, like, you're making it work for you.
And if I took more time to, like, think about this. All those places that I went to are beautiful.
Yeah.
Right? But you don't really see a lot of my photos from those places that are not of other people, right?
True.
Because I could have went and got someone else to be like, hey, take some photos of me here. I want to be an influencer.
Right? You could have easily.
I could have easy.
And then you could be like, I have a course. You want to learn how to be a
travel
photographer? Done.
Right? Yeah. Courses. Speaking of courses, I did a couple like photography 101s for kids.
Did you?
Yeah, that was kind of cool.
That's crazy.
It's rewarding. It's nice, yeah.
That's really good to do.
Yeah, I did it. A friend of mine's a teacher. We did it out in Etobicoke.
Oh, man.
Yeah.
That's sick. See, that's this kind of stuff to do if you're going to do anything like that, right. I think.
Yeah. And kids don't care what car I drive.
Right? They care more about the camera. They're like,
yeah. Wow. That camera, right? But you know what? Other people do too, though, right? When you're out. It's like, hey, my friend, these guys are like, oh, okay, yeah, I'm gonna go get this chain, go get this grill made. All right, cool.
Right?
I'm gonna go get a camera.
Right?
Yeah.
That's how I feel. That's how I definitely feel.
Right.
I haven't bought new clothes in a while because of that. Because of just gear. Because of the stuff I need.
Yeah.
Man, but that's nuts. That's nuts. How did you what did you do for the kids? Like, what did you actually do for the 101? You just showed them how your camera worked? Or did you guys like get like...
Well, the school itself had a camera in school, and
just one?
Yeah, they only had one.
True.
Right, but
crazy.
They had iPads. They had like they had like a whole case of like 10, 20 iPads or something.
Really?
Yeah, cool, right? So I went over the 3 basics of photography. Speed, aperture, ISO, right?
That's really good to do.
Yeah, and then I gave them like an example, and see, I had to. It was really on the fly. Like, I knew what I was gonna do when I what I was gonna touch on when I went there.
Yeah.
But when they, I wasn't sure how I was gonna do it. I was just gonna really show them the camera settings, and on the chalkboard kind of explain them like depth of field or what a more open camera does compared to like things like that, right? So. I started drawing. I actually drew out a few examples, and I was saying, at your lower apertures, like f2.8, for example, if it was focused on the tip of somebody's nose, their eye might be a little bit blurry because that's like at the distance,
True.
But if I went to like 3.5, at least their whole face was going to be in focus, right? Yeah. Whereas if you're going to shoot some landscape and you have enough light, you can go to like an 11, 12, 20, and everything that's going to be in the picture is going to be in focus, right?
Yeah.
And then I broke it down, like I start with like the speed and this and that. Like if I were to take a picture of a fan that's on, I'd have to shoot it at, depending on how fast it's going, let's say 200th, right, of a second. Boom, you got it. It looks like it's still. But if I were to shoot that at like, at a second where it's open,
yeah,
you're gonna see the motion in it.
True.
right? So I give them a little bit of examples, and I took their iPads and I told them to get 2 items, and I put it on their desk, and I told them to hold the iPad so that it was closer to the one item, and then tap it with their finger because that's where the focus is.
Mm-hmm.
And you would notice that the item behind it was blurry.
Yeah.
Right. So that's kind of how I explained
That's crazy.
one thing to it, and then there wasn't really much else I could explain with them. But then I brought them outside and we did a little exercise and made them take some creative photos where something looked beautiful in focus and the background wasn't. A couple of kids came to me with like the leaves on a tree. So they would get, take a focus of one, and then like the branches behind it were out of focus. Or
bro, where are all the pictures from this?
The Mr. Levy photos.
Yeah, right.
So funny. I have a couple, but I didn't really take too much behind the scenes of me teaching this class.
Crazy. That's how you know you're a good person, man.
It was cool.
Anybody else would have just decked that out, made that a whole photo shoot,
and been like, "Hey guys, look at me teaching classes now forever."
Right?
Mm-hmm.
Oh shit! Stop. Keep that going. This phone's probably gonna stop soon too. Reset that. Man. Yeah, that's actually really sick. I want to do something like that for because I had like growing up, I had a big brother, like from the Big Brother program.
Yeah.
And I want to actually do something like that because I remember back when I had a big brother, they would always have us all meet up at like some gymnasium, and then there'd be like activities and stuff. So I wanna actually do something like that where I show them like how to use like cameras and stuff, and then they can all like pair up and like do that kind of thing together.
Right.
Yeah, I want to try something like that. 'Cause I'm trying to give back to that organization especially because that helped me out huge to have that big brother mentor thing going on. It's really, really cool to do. Really cool to help somebody younger, like in a mentor kind of way, because it helped me a lot, like a lot. Pretty much changed everything for me, man. So what else you been up to, man?
I mean, right now I'm just trying to work on building some new content. So there's a lot of new things coming up. I'm working a lot more on the corporate side of things.
True.
I am going back to Spain for another modeling shoot, but definitely my main thing right now is the brands. I want to do a lot of branding and advertising photography. Yeah.
Why does that attract you so much? Like I know you're saying like because it's everywhere, but like
it's just like it's bigger in terms of like it's grander. It's just more rewarding. It's more fun. It's more like
True.
There's so much more involved to it.
True.
And I just feel like I don't want to waste my talent doing things that are not gonna like I don't know, like I can shoot a lot of these private photo shoots for anybody and make them look good and or well, not make them look good, but just create good content for them, right? But I want people to see my work. I want a message to be delivered through it, right?
True.
So it doesn't necessarily have to be a clothing brand or something. It could be a company that, it could even be like you were saying, how the Big Brother program helped you.
Yeah.
So wouldn't that be cool if I could stage a photo shoot that delivered the feeling of helping through a program like Big Brother? That's what I want to do.
True.
Things like that, things that deliver a message, right?
True. So there's like a sense of, I guess, artistry to what you do, even though, because I've interviewed a lot of photographers actually that are like more into the art side of things. So usually they'll look at stuff like what you're talking about doing and not see the artistry in that.
Right.
But you're like kind of blending the two with your vision there, because you want to deliver a message, but also have it be on that grand stage of impacting a lot of people at the same time.
Like I always wanted to be in Vogue, like be a photographer that was like, capture something for Vogue. And of course I still do. But that's not the only art that I want to create. Like that's like when people think artistic photography, they think high fashion, Vogue, cool colors, weird poses, like
Weird poses, like that whole thing.
The butterfly arm. I don't know. I don't know if there's a term for that, but it is awkward. Looks okay on camera though. Looks artistic.
Yeah, right. Editorial.
However you want to sum it up. But yeah, I want to do something more like that, right? It could really be anything. Like even when you see, like probably as a videographer, you probably watch a lot of commercials in a different way, right?
Yeah.
So like Lincoln's commercial with that actor, what's his name? I can't remember. He's always creating that vibe like of tranquility, and Alexis is like.
Was it Matthew McConaughey?
Yeah, McConaughey.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
So you see how I think
that's a really good commercial.
That's a really
actually.
good commercial. Okay? That's a really good commercial, right? So when I see that, I think, wow, these guys really nailed it. You know,
Yeah.
they had a great like the actor, the vibe, everything is just feels good. You know, it's like you want to buy a Lincoln.
That commercial to me, when I seen that commercial, that's like the video equivalent of a glass of whiskey. Like
Yeah, it's so it's got a whole
cool and smooth.
Yeah.
A little harsh with the beard.
It's
and
still
everything.
manly, but it's smooth, but it's you want some.
Right? That's exactly what that was like.
Yeah.
True.
And I was sitting down the last time that commercial came on with my dad, and like we'll like say we eat, hang out, right?
Yeah.
And watch like some soccer or whatever's on TV, right?
Yeah.
But then that commercial came on, and I just couldn't like. I was just looking at it, right? I was just watching it, and then the commercial finished, and I looked over at my dad, and he was watching the commercial too, right?
The same way.
And I was like, hey, that was a good commercial, wasn't it? that was like a Super Bowl commercial, man. That was a good one,
Eye-catching.
Eye-catching and captivating. It keeps you, right? So that's what I want. Like when I go out and I see photos on stores as I'm walking through the mall, I want to do that. I want to be that guy.
True.
And it also feels nice that someone would like trust me to do that. Like.
Yeah. Yeah.
To like see my work and be like, I think you'd be good at this, or like we want you to do it. Like.
True.
I want to get to that level.
Yeah, that is a big thing. That is a big thing when that happens, because like as a creative, you don't need validation because you're executing your own vision, but it's always cool when you get it.
Right. Yeah. That's what I'm saying. Like I love what I do, and I work hard to be better than I am yesterday, tomorrow.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
True.
So I think that everybody needs that recognition, or, somebody saying, yo, you like that belief, like you were saying.
Exactly. I remember the first time I got that, I was on a shoot, and it was just like a doctor, and she was just like getting ready for the video and everything, and she's like, dude, am I good? And I'm like, yeah. She's like, well, you tell me, you're the expert. And I'm like, oh, okay.
In that case.
Yeah, right? I was like, oh, yeah, true.
Mm-hmm.
That was like the first time I heard that. I was like, okay.
You're the expert. I know. The first time I heard that, I was like, I am the expert.
Yeah, right? Because then you look around the room. Nobody else knows what you know.
Yeah,
right?
yeah. It was cool. Even that shoot that I was saying with Shot Clear, there was like 6, 7, I don't know, something. It was like between 6 and 8 people that I was photographing.
Yeah.
But there was like another group of like 15 just, spectating or helping, or the jewelry sponsor, the clothing sponsor, the hair, makeup.
Oh, really?
Yeah, right. The
Yeah,
owners of the venue, the owner
True.
of the condo that I did the shoot for the second half of it, right?
Mm-hmm.
So, and it's literally just like, it's like my show,
Yeah,
and
exactly.
I had a buddy helping me, and I was like, hey, listen, guys, I need this space here. Okay,
Yeah.
we need to do this. We need to do this. I need
crazy.
you. I need this light over here. I need,
Directing.
Yeah, right. And then quiet on set, guys. I'm shooting. No, I'm kidding. But it was, yeah, like I love that, and I think that's also why I want to do a lot of these bigger projects, because it's just the energy that surrounds them is that's what I like, keeps me going.
Yeah, that's why, like, right now I'm actually I'm getting into PAing. Like, I want to be a production assistant, like, on sets and stuff, because when I did that documentary style thing for that politician with my friend Bard, it was the energy that we had between us, and that when we were setting things up and like coming up with the concept and everything like that, like I love that energy. Like, and I've never had that before, because I always do it by myself.
Yeah.
Like, I'm always on set by myself. It's just me working everything. And that energy was like so sick, and I was like, you know what, like if I can get paid to like have that same energy around me all the time, like with a bunch of people who like feel that same way about it, then like I gotta go for it. And then talk about manifestation. I'm like in the car, my buddy Bard, he had a birthday party right on the 17th, And I'm like, man, I'm looking for like PA gigs, and I'm like on my phone, like my girlfriend's driving, and I'm like, I'm like, just PA Toronto, like production assistant Toronto. I keep looking for it. There's like no openings. A couple of things for like animation studios and stuff, and I'm like, oh, that's weird. And I'm like seeing like people who have searched this also searched this, and then I see like location manager, and I'm like, man, I don't know any location managers. Like, this is weird. I'm like, whatever, you know. And then I decide when I get to the party, I'm like, okay, I'm not gonna be on my phone. Like that was a new thing that I want to do when I go out and stuff. I'm like, I'm just gonna give my girlfriend my phone and like not
be in the moment.
Yeah, exactly. And I'm there, and I'm just sitting, and all of a sudden I'm talking with this guy, and he's a filmmaker. And I'm like, oh, shit. I'm like, oh, sick. So I start having a conversation with him. He's about to go to Africa to shoot some stuff because he's shooting like a film on like, it's like a deep film. It's like female circumcision. Like it's a film on that and like covering that whole topic. And it's pretty deep. So he's like shooting it here. Oh, shoot, I got to reset that. He's shooting it here and in Africa because apparently it happens here too. And we don't actually know about it. Because we just think that's like something that happens elsewhere. But getting into the conversation with him, and I'm like, yeah, you know, I have a podcast. And I would like, because right away, as soon as I heard him, I'm like, yo, I want to interview this guy at some point. And I'm like, yeah, you know, I'm doing the podcast, but like, I also want to do like some PAing. He's like, PA. He's like, I can get you into a PA gig right away. He's like, I know this guy. He's a location manager. I'm like, what the fuck? He's like, get your phone. Where's your phone? I'm like, oh shit, okay. Like, he's like, gave me this number and everything. He's like, call this guy. He's like, tell him that you know me. He's like, tell him that you want to get in. He's like, tell him that you want to be a PA. Tell him everything that you just told me. He's like, there's a course you have to do. He's like, but after you've done the course, he's like, you should be able to get in. He's like, because it's gonna start picking up in the next few months. He's like, so get in now. I'm like, oh fuck.
Cool.
I'm like, okay.
Yeah, that's awesome.
And I'm sitting there, I'm like, yo, this is so weird. Like I was just looking this up on my phone. Like my search history just said like production assistant Toronto, and like now I'm sitting in front of this guy and he's saying this. So, and that's actually what I have to do after we're finished here. I actually have to call that guy up, see what's up. But yeah, so weird the way things manifest when you put it out there.
But it's amazing.
Yeah. And that was like probably the first time I put it out there. Like I told my girl I wanted to do that. I mentioned it to somebody else at one point, but like this was the first time like I brought it up like in a public forum to like somebody random. And then all of a sudden it was just like bang.
Amazing.
Man, it's so weird the way it happens. Right?
But it's great. It's great.
Yeah, man. It's so odd. Another story that happened like that, I wanted to interview a behavioral science scientist because I like behavioral science. I like the mind. I like the way it all works and everything. And same thing, I'm searching it. I'm on my walk, like my morning walk, and I'm searching behavioral science Toronto. And I hop in my car, and I just go to like a random place, and I'm listening to a podcast, but my headphones weren't working, so the podcast was playing out loud. And this guy's like, is that Tom Bilyeu? And I'm like, yeah. I'm like, I like this podcast, Impact Theory. He's like, I was just listening to that same podcast like before I left the house. And I was like, oh shit, that's crazy. And he saw my tattoo. He's like, oh, mushrooms. And he's like, he started talking about like his experience and my experience. And I'm like, man, yeah. And like, I have my own podcast, and I'm trying to find like behavioral scientists to interview. He's like, I work for behavioral scientists. He's like, I know some of the top ones in Toronto. I'm like, what?
Okay.
He's like, we probably met for a reason. He's like, take my number. We exchange numbers. And it's fucking weird, man.
And then you got it, right?
I interviewed him recently. And now I'm going to interview some people that he works with who are like in the field as well. Oh, and he's just been a great connection to have. He's like really into psychology and philosophy and super intelligent guy. He actually sent me an article today that was about success. And tell me if you know what, I'd love to know what your habits are that you do towards this, because it was talking about success and how we always look at success as like this grandiose thing, like this huge thing, right? Like we always look at like the billionaire as a billionaire. We don't see the little things that he did. And he was talking about how success is actually like a little bit of grandiose, but most of the pie, if it's like on a pie chart, is just mundane acts, like just little things that
All the
you do
little accomplishments.
little things you do every day. And I was like, man, that's so true. He's like, we have to stop looking at success as like this big thing, and we have to start recognizing like the boring parts of success.
Yeah.
And the little things that we have to do like every day in order to accomplish.
That's true.
So for you, what little things do you do every day that have like brought you to this point, you think?
It's funny, they change all the time, but most recently the things that I do like as a ritual pretty much almost every day. I wake up, and now it's one of those things where I set my alarm a little earlier.
True.
Because I'm the kind of person that'll set my alarm, and if I don't have anything like that I have to do that involves somebody else, then I might sleep in a little longer, right?
Bro,
but I gave myself now a 2 alarm limit. So
you can only hit snooze twice.
Yeah, I can only hit snooze twice.
True.
And that's 20 minutes.
Okay.
Because it goes off 10 minutes and then 10 more minutes again.
Yeah.
So it's like that's either the alarm where, all right, it's time to get up, or it's like, okay, you got to get up real soon, and I'm just letting you know. So that's the first one. It's my 2 alarm. The second one is once I get up, and I like brush my teeth and water floss my braces for half an hour. Damn, it sucks. But I make my bed. Right, make my bed. By the time I make my bed, I try and eat something. If I don't eat something, I for sure chug a big cup of water down.
Yeah.
And then I'll check my emails.
True.
Right. Check my emails before any social media. I try not to check my social media right away, unless I'm expecting a message from somebody.
True.
From something that continuation from the night before, right? But always the emails first, because the emails is where more of my like confirmed accounts I talk to, right? More of my bigger clients talk to.
True.
And then I'll check my social media after. But I write down all the things that I need to do, that I need to accomplish in my book, and I also write down where I want to get to and how I'm going to get to those things, right?
True.
So every day I try and bite off a little bit of it. I have boxes also that I check out. For example, my fitness goals. I have 14 boxes beside each month, and January and December were like trash. I just, I went away to shoot a wedding. I was in Mexico. I ate and drank way too much, complete opposite of my fitness goals. Came back. It was the holidays. Ate way too much, drank way too much. Forget the fitness goals. I didn't even have a box in December. Okay. I didn't start it yet.
Yeah.
January came by and I was in the mood where I just like, I don't give a crap. I don't, F this. I'll, January is a write-off. I'll start 2019 in February, right? and then February came and I made the boxes, and I realized I only went to the gym 3 times in January. I was like, no, this can't happen. So I made 14 boxes, which is attainable. It's half the month, 3 times a week, whatever, right? Yeah. 3.5 times a week for whatever, right? And I started checking those off. So now when I go to the gym, I get to go home and check off a box, right? So
True.
It's nice. It's an accomplishment. I can't do that unless I go to the gym.
Exactly.
But if I go to the gym, I get to check out this box. It's amazing. There's a box I get to check out.
True. Yeah.
Whatever. No. It's awesome. It's one of my goals. Like it's a little thing that you 100%. Do, right? But the making the bed thing is really important. And I thought about that before, and then I watched this video on YouTube about this guy who talks about the biggest thing that I could do in the day. Or I can't remember what exactly he says.
Navy SEAL.
Yeah, the Navy SEAL, that guy, right?
That.
And he's like, make your bed. Everyone starts laughing. And in my head, I'm like, no, it's true. Yeah. If your surrounding space is clean or tidy, then your thoughts are clearer.
Yes.
Right? Because I'm the kind of guy that'll throw my clothes on the chair and go to bed, right? And then the next day I'll fold them up. Or I won't, and then they'll pile up, and then I'm doomed until I do it, and then I'll wake up one day and be like, I can't stand this, and I just do everything, right?
Exactly.
But because I just can't think clearly, right? And I don't like doing the chair to the bed to the chair to the bed.
Yeah, right.
Yeah,
that cycle.
Yeah, I can't do that. Those are big goals for me. I try and just make sure. I think like organization and cleanliness, right? So checking off my boxes, writing down my goals. Making sure my environment is tidy, making sure that I'm following up with people that inquired with me, making sure that I'm getting work that I've already shot completed in a timely manner, making sure I'm following up with people to let them know, like, if it's a wedding and stuff, right, their queues are obviously a little bit longer.
True.
That, okay, guys, hey, I've already started the process, right? Your albums are being, worked on now.
Walking them through the process.
Exactly, right? So
sure.
Yeah, that's pretty much it, right? Stay on top of it, be punctual. Is huge for success. You can't be late. You can't be meeting people and having meetings and be late, because I don't like it either. It's a disrespect of someone's time.
Yeah, once I realized that, I really got it together with being late, being more punctual.
Yeah, so that's huge too. But yeah, all those little things is just the little things you do for yourself, right? Like waking up and shaving.
Yeah.
Right? You can't just let yourself go.
Yeah.
Because then, like, you're going to be somewhere, and then you have to get ready anyway.
Yeah.
So
true.
Would you rather spend an hour getting ready or 10 minutes every day?
True.
You know what I mean? Upkeep is better than a new renovation. You know what I mean? Like,
true. That's so true. That's a really good way to look at it. Yeah. Do you want to have to upkeep, or do you have to renovate?
Right. That's like, I could go fix my car, but if I don't fix it soon, I'm gonna have to buy a new one. Yeah, so, exactly. Spend $2,000 or 20. Like,
yeah. True. I'm thinking about mine. Yeah. I'm like, it's exactly what it's gonna cost too. 2,000. Yeah.
Yeah. Me too.
Yeah, man. That's so true. That's really cool. It's really cool that you talk about making the bed. Jordan Peterson talks about that. He was a former professor. I don't know if he's still a professor at U of T. And he hit a lot of fame through like his teachings and stuff, his lectures and stuff like that. Mm-hmm. And he talks about that. He talks about making your bed. He's like that's the thing. He's like, you should do that. And he talks about doing the things that you should do, which is basically what you were just talking about, like doing the shit like you should do. Mm-hmm. And he always gives the question, which I always think about now. He's like, who would you be if you just did the things that you should do? Mm-hmm. Like, you should just do all this stuff. Like, who would you be in 10 years if you just kept doing those things? Yeah. You didn't let like January fall off. Like, if you just kept going, what would that turn into?
Right.
And then the inverse, what if you just let everything fuck up all the time?
Yeah.
Who would you be in 10 years after that? Like, what would your life look like?
Yeah.
And then it's like and then it kind of gives you this vision of heaven and this vision of hell.
Right.
And it kind of keeps you moving,
And you can take that two ways. Who would you be? Because you can take the who would you be and think of a mentor, think of somebody you look up to and say, I could be as successful as that person.
Yeah.
Like, the CEO of Spencer magazine, every morning this guy's posting at 5 a.m. 6 a.m. good morning, guys, I'm waking up early to get some things done for us for the magazine so that we have things to do, so we have a magazine to work on, right? And I'm just like, wow, this guy's motivating, right?
Yeah. I'll
still see you at 9 or 10, but good for you, right?
Yeah. Like, right? Yeah.
But if I started doing that, I think I read somewhere or a few places that the most successful people start their day at 5 or 6 a.m.
Yeah, man. I made it a habit to wake up at 4 a.m. and my life drastically changed as soon as I started doing that. At first it was like 6, and then it was like 5, and then I'm like, let me see if I could wake up at 4. Like, let me see like what happens. And you start to value your time a lot more, and you start to value yourself a lot more, I found, because like right away, because like I wake up at 4 a.m. and right away the first thing I'll do is drink a liter of water, but then I'll stretch. And after I stretch, I'll meditate, and then I'll say my affirmations. Like, I have a list of affirmations that I say. I'm trying to speak into existence. Mm-hmm. And then after that, I'll take a walk. Like, I'll just take, like, weather's fucking horrible, so it's like it's a little harder. But like when it's nice outside, like you take like this 30-minute walk and like just gather your thoughts and like do it with like out your phone or anything. You're just walking. And I don't know, man, it just fucking, it changed my mindset. Like it changes you for some reason. Mm-hmm. And then after the walk, I'll like go to the gym, and then like it's 4 a.m. that you wake up and you start work at like 9 a.m. but you've already done all these things in terms of self-care for yourself. Yeah. So you don't have to worry about any of that shit now. Mm-hmm. Right. And it's just like, it's crazy. And then because you woke up at 4 a.m., you're going to be able to fall asleep early. Yeah. Because you've been up for so fucking long.
Would you want to sleep early?
It depends. Yeah, it depends, right? It depends what the lifestyle is. Like for me, it's easy for me to stay up late at night.
Me too.
Like really easy. Mm-hmm. Like if I can stay out. Like I think I stayed up till like 2:30 last night.
Yeah, 2 a.m. is easy.
Yeah.
1 or 2 a.m. is like I can go to bed at 2.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Exactly. So.
Even 12 is hard.
Yeah. Yeah. Recently, it's been really hard for me. Like I have the ritual of waking up at 4 a.m. But like if I'm going to sleep at 2, I'm not waking up at 4.
Yeah.
Like,
right. I want to wake up at 4.
Yeah. It's a goal that I aspire to.
Right.
But the checking off the boxes that you were talking about, I kind of do the same thing. Like I have the sticky notes inside on my mirror there.
Yeah.
And then when I accomplish one of those goals, I have a box. I call it the box of accomplishments, and I just write accomplished on it and throw it in the box.
Right.
But I was talking to that same guy who's all about philosophy and psychology and stuff. He says there's actually something that happens in your brain when you do that. You get like a hit of dopamine, and it kind of tells your brain that this is good for us,
right.
and then it makes it easier for you to do it as time goes.
That's
so
cool.
It's actually like a really good thing that you're doing that. It's crazy that you're doing that so instinctually, because like I had to fucking learn from people. All sorts of shit
I started doing that. That's just one of the boxes is the gym. The other one is how many headshots I want to book in a month.
True, like a business goal.
Right. And then I said I'm gonna for sure do 5 headshots a month at the special that I'm giving.
Yeah, I see. You
right?
You go hard with that one.
Yeah, because it's super cheap, and I just want 5 of them.
True.
Right, and I get more, but I just want 5 because they come to me and I do it, and it's professional and people enjoy it, and that's the network that I want to be in. Right. So everything you do doesn't have to be exactly the thing that you want to do, as long as you're doing something that falls into the genre of where you want to be. Yeah. Right. Because as long like the headshots is like, well, obviously I don't want to be a headshot photographer. Who wants to be a headshot photographer?
Yeah.
Right. But who needs headshots? Professionals. Yeah. Right. Actors, actresses, people that are CEOs or rank in companies or businesses, influencers, everybody. People that need to be noticed for some reason. Yeah. 100%. And need their image to be on point. Right. True. So I think by doing that, also I've met other people that are in fields that are geared or in the direction of where I want to be, right? So true. Yeah, things like that, right?
True. That's very true. That's why I'm so pumped to do the PA thing, because it's like if right now someone gave me an option, they're like, "What do you want to do?" I would be like, "I want to be a filmmaker. Like I want to make documentaries. I want to do this podcast and." Like I wouldn't even know what else from there. Right. Like those 2 things I know for sure I would love to do just like forever. And if I can, PAing's not something that I would like seek out, but it's like it's within the scope of everything that I'm doing. You know what I mean? Yeah. It still puts me in the film industry. It still makes it so I'm learning constantly, because that's like what the podcast basically I learn tremendous amounts from people all the time. So it's like it just keeps me in that, and it may not be like the overall goal, but like it's teaching you the steps to the overall goal. Because like right now it's like you're doing all these headshots, and then like you want to do those bigger things, and then all of a sudden it's like the bigger thing that you want to do, they might be like, we need headshots. Yeah. And then all of a sudden you're in is the headshots because you've been grinding at them for so long. Right. And then you nail them, and then all of a sudden they're like, yo, can you do this thing too? Right. And all of a sudden it's like done.
That's how Danny started almost. But Danny started because of an ad that I posted on Kijiji for something else. Something photo related.
Kijiji.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. Something photo related. Okay. And then they called me, and it wasn't even what I posted about, but they asked me if I could do product photography.
True.
I was like, in my head, I could. I don't want to. Like, I don't think anybody wants to, but I mean, I don't know. Where are you calling from?
Yeah, right.
And then I was like, okay, you know what? Can I come have a meeting with you? Because at that point, I was like, I knew what I wanted to do. For Danier.
True.
And it wasn't product photography.
Yeah.
So I went to the office and I had a meeting with them, and I was like, all right, I'll do your product photography.
Yeah.
Right. So then I said, give me a they're like, do you have any? I'm like, no, because I don't do it. Right. But
yeah,
give me something and I'll go shoot it for you, and bring it back to you and
Show you. Yeah.
I'll show you. So I did it, and they liked it, and then they wanted me to do like a lot of something, and I was like, I just don't have the time for that.
Yeah.
And but I when I was at the meeting, I told them what I do, and I showed them my portfolio, and that I do the lifestyle and the fashion photography, and then I ended up doing their last campaign.
Wow.
Yeah, so it was cool.
Wow, that's crazy.
Yeah.
Because anybody else, if they were like, we want you to do a lot of something that you don't really want to do, they would still jump on it just at the chance. But you like stuck to your guns kind of thing, and you're like, you don't have the time for that.
Yeah, no. If like, no, because
what made you do that?
The brand was cool because I don't want to do that. Yeah, like, that's another thing. I don't think people should do anything they don't want to do if they just because somebody wants them to do it. True. Just because you can do something, it doesn't mean you have to or you should.
True.
I mean, you should always know what you're capable of, in case you find yourself in a situation, financially even, that you need to do something.
That's weird. Yeah, true. Why did that turn off? Check the plugs.
The thing's still on.
Still on?
Yeah. The power bar's still. Oh, now it's off. No, it's on.
That's so weird. Switch the battery power. Ooh. Sorry, bro. Switching the battery power now. There you go.
And we got to change the camera.
Oh, shit.
Just happened. That was good timing, actually.
Yeah, perfect.
Yeah. Yeah.
Man. Check the later. Yeah, that's crazy. That's
yeah.
what?
We're on a good
oh yeah
roll.
Yeah. Man, that's
so what were we saying? Yeah, I was saying I don't think people should do what other people want them to do if they don't want to do it.
True.
Yeah. I think the way to do the things you want to do is just to stick to your guns and do those things, right?
Yeah, that's true, actually. That's actually what I learned through podcasting, because, like, 2018, I was producing a podcast.
Yeah.
And it wasn't, like, my thing, but I was, like, producing it because I was, like, it's around what I want to do. But, like, I've always wanted to just do my own podcast and focus on my own thing, right?
Yeah, yeah.
And near the end of 2019 or 2018, I'm like, I don't think I should be doing. I think I should be doing what I want to do. And more, it started showing that, like, yeah, you should be doing what you want to do. Like, focus on the things you want to do, and it just made more sense. And then I just started doing that, and everything started working out a lot better.
True.
When I made that decision, but that's crazy that you're able to stick to that. What gave you the resolve to do that? Like, how did that develop that you think you should just do the things you want to do?
Because I used to do the things I didn't want to do, and they're not rewarding.
True.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, okay, cool, you get some money in your pocket, but like, one example was like, back in the day, when I had my G1, I drove before I had a license, right? And I never got caught. So
allegedly,
right? Yeah, allegedly. So they say, right? Like that's what they say.
Yeah.
Anyway, I had my G1, and my dad went out of town. I wanted to like show off, and I took his car out with some friends, and I got pulled over with my G1. So finally got my G1. I got pulled over.
Oh my gosh.
And it's like late. My friends are in the car. We got a whole bunch of tickets, whatever, right? And my license was suspended.
True.
And I'm like, shit, I'm broke. Like, I'm never gonna get my license back, right?
Yeah.
So I had to go, and I went to apply at like a temp agency, and they like threw me like a different job every week to go make my minimum wage, or $15 an hour if I was lucky,
Yeah, you'd be really lucky at a temp agency to get 15 an
right?
hour. Boy.
Yeah. So then there was this one job, and they're like, it's $20 an hour, and I guess this is I guess I had just got my license back at that point, and they're like, it's a driving job, and I'm like, all right, cool, you know.
Yeah.
Let's do it. So I get to the job site, and it's waste management, waste disposal, waste management, whatever thing.
Like sewage, like shit.
Like like I gotta drive this team around, and they gotta go to buildings and clean the garbage chutes and stuff.
Oh.
And I'm like, all right, whatever. And we get there, and he like gives me this bag, and I'm like, what the fuck is this? And it was like a jumpsuit, like a white jumpsuit to wear, so I could go and clean the garbage disposal areas with them. Oh. And I was like, hell no, I didn't sign up for this. I'm a driver, you know? Like,
yeah.
And I'm a team player too, right? So I didn't want to be like that jerk that left them a man down because the agency screwed up.
Yeah.
So I did that job with them for one day.
You did it?
Yeah, I did it.
Oh man.
I know. I jumped in there to help them out, and it was gross. It was stinky. It was it's disgusting. I don't want to think about it. And I never went back. But after that, I was like, I'm never gonna do something that I don't want to do again. You know.
True.
Yeah, that was pretty much it. And yeah. Can't do that. I've tried things, you know what I mean, and then realized they weren't for me. Mm-hmm. But like, if now I know what is for me and I know what I want to do.
Yeah.
And if it's not, then I'm just not doing it.
True. Yeah, that's how I feel. I'm much more aligned with what my heart wants.
Yeah, like I'm a photographer. Everybody knows that, right? When I was a rapper, everybody knew that.
True.
But now that I'm a photographer, I'm not gonna go and be like, you know what I mean? I'm not gonna go Uber around people like, or who knows? Maybe I'll do it for fun because that'd be kind of. I feel like being an Uber once in a while, if you wanted to, would be interesting.
Yeah.
I can't do it though. My car's 2 doors.
True.
But like, yeah, for example, I don't want to go to somewhere and then be like, oh, Jonathan, I thought what happened? You know?
Yeah.
Why are you serving at Moxie's? Like, which I love Moxie's. It's a great place. But
it is.
But like, I wouldn't be a server nowadays. You know what I mean?
True.
I like maybe back in the day just for fun. I did have my smart serve. I used to bartend. I used to serve for fun. But I wouldn't do that now and make it like a job. You know what I mean? That would just confuse things for not other people but myself.
Yeah.
I'm a photographer. I wake up, I eat, sleep, breathe photography. I go to bed, eat, sleep, breathe photography. There's no questioning it.
True.
Yeah.
Just staying completely congruent, I guess you could say.
Yeah.
With what you want.
Yeah. And I'm at a point now where if I'm not working, I'm still working because I'm like, I was a promoter. I was all this, right? I know about networking, right? Mm-hmm. But only more recently, now that I've developed my websites, has it been more important than ever for me to keep my name out there and promote. Like you said, you see the headshots promo because I've just been flooding social media with it.
Yeah, why not?
Right? 2 for 100, 2 for 100, 2 for 100, 2 for 100. Yeah. Right? When regular rate's like 250.
Yeah.
Right? It's almost a no-brainer to come to me.
True.
To get that, right? And even where I am right now with the amount of headshots that I'm booking is nothing compared to what I should be, which means that I'm still not doing something right. Or my network isn't in the right place yet because it's still so diverse from all the things that I've done. True. That now that I'm a photographer, not everybody in my network is there because of photography. Yeah. Right. So, the few people that were the few places that I've connected with since then have seen me growing as a photographer. Then those are the ones that have kind of been helpful, and the people that I've worked for already that have referred me to other people has been helpful as well, right?
True.
Yeah. So.
True.
Yeah.
That's
it.
I like this talk from you. We don't usually get into these conversations when we talk this deeply into the business side of things.
It's true.
Yeah, that's actually really true, man.
We had our non-podcast podcast.
Yeah, true. Yeah.
That was a good one.
Man, that's a lot to think about.
Right.
Because, I try to, and I guess a big part of that is knowing what it is. Like here I have all my passions, all my talents, and all the opportunities that are possible through them. And it's hard to just pick one. But when you do, Jordan Peterson, he calls it threading the needle. Mm-hmm. Like, because when you're a kid or when you're young, you just have all this potential. Mm-hmm. Like you can be anything. But then when you pick something, you kind of push all that other shit away and you just go to that one thing.
Yeah.
And in sacrificing all you could be, you become like the master of that one thing.
True. But actually, speaking of that, like the innocence of children, like we can't lose that.
Yeah.
Right. That, like, for me, I don't really care if people look at me and think, oh, like not immature, but like I'm very outgoing. You know what I mean?
Definitely.
I'm very open to things. I'm very just like, I just love.
Yeah.
Love everything. Like I don't hate anything. You know what I mean?
True.
And I always believe that we can do whatever we want. You know what I mean? I know that if I don't want to be a photographer tomorrow, nothing's gonna stop me.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
You figure it out.
Yeah. If I want to go and be a pilot, I'll and tomorrow I decide that's really what I want to do, then I'm gonna go to school and learn how to be a pilot. Like, you know what I mean?
True.
Because that's what's gonna make me happy tomorrow, right?
Yeah.
If I wanted to leave the country and move, the fact that my foundation is here is probably not gonna stop me.
Definitely.
You know what I mean?
Definitely.
From if I really wanted to move.
Mm-hmm.
I love Toronto. Like I've left Toronto and I've come back, but I still love it. So I haven't moved, but there's nothing that's saying I can't leave for 6 months and come back, right?
Definitely not.
And I wouldn't think twice about it, just because people have said to me, when I started photography, people were like, you want to be a photographer? Like, do something real, right?
Yeah, I remember that.
I showed them, bro. You know what I mean? And if I listened to them, what would I be right now? What would I be doing? Like selling cars still?
Yeah, right.
Putting a suit on in the freezing cold to spend 2 hours with a client that's gonna waste my time? No, like it's not even rewarding.
Yeah,
there's nothing rewarding about it. You're not really helping anybody when you help them get a car.
Yeah,
because it's not like, if you go to buy a car, you know what you need.
You're kind of helping yourself.
Yeah, you're helping yourself. You're just getting somebody to like run the negotiation for you.
Yeah.
And even that nowadays is like pulling teeth. Like there's the market's so different now, you can go online and buy a car.
Yeah, it's true.
Right? And you can find a car like a couple grand cheaper than the dealership.
True.
And there's only a couple grand in margins in cars these days. So it's like, what do you can't, you're not going to go to the dealership and get a crazier deal. You're just going to, stress somebody out.
I've never known too much about cars or like buying them or selling them or anything like that.
Yeah.
But you were selling cars?
Yeah, I worked for Subaru for 3 years.
What was that like?
Subaru is a wicked car, but selling cars sucks.
Yeah. You're probably good at it though. I could see that.
That was all right. I tried to help people more than sell them, and then I realized there's not really anything about helping people. Like,
yeah, right.
Like it is, but it's not. Like, and I don't want anyone to interpret that the wrong way. I genuinely care about the well-being of other people, but whatever. It's a product.
Yeah, and I know from working in telecommunications, if you go in with a I want to help this person mentality, some of the time it's like, you don't want this.
Right?
You shouldn't get this.
Yeah, this isn't for you.
Yeah, and then all of a sudden you lose that, right? And then that reflects badly on your metrics and on the like what the boss might think or whatever. So,
I'll never work a 9 to 5. I'll never have a boss again.
It's hard.
It's worth it. It's hard. Okay, well, I go to sleep happy.
No, it's hard. It's hard to have a boss.
Oh,
like,
yeah.
Working the 9 to 5 is very hard. I've done a lot of them.
Can't do it. Did it. Been there, done that. Hated it.
Mm.
Had a couple good bosses that turned out to be like mentors, like people that I looked up to because of their goal, like their direction,
True.
Things like that. But no,
True.
I wouldn't do it again.
Yeah.
I am the boss. I want to be the boss, right? Like everything that I've started, I want to turn into a company, and I want to train people to be able to acquire the same level of quality that I deliver, that I can now say you are at a level where you can represent my brand.
You're Gucci.
It's Gucci.
You get a Gucci stamp of approval,
Yeah, right.
and then they're moving for you, basically.
Yeah. Jay Gucci, because everyone's boycotting right now, and I don't.
Yeah, that's true. Jay Gucci.
Hey,
not to be confused.
No. That letter is officially a part of the name.
Yeah.
There's no, there's no doubt about it. There's no Gucci.
Yeah.
That's it.
That's so true. Did you see that whole boycotting? Did you see the shirt?
The shirt?
Made? Yeah.
Oh, the
blackface shirt.
Yeah, blackface shirt.
I was like, wow, that was crazy.
Like, but it's so dumb. Why did you do that?
Yeah, it doesn't even look good.
Yeah, it's an ugly shirt.
Yeah, like why would you want a shirt that had you like that?
No, man.
It's so weird. It was such a weird thing.
It's just weird. But it's also like I can't believe it when you know the controversy behind it. And you're going to go and do it anyway.
Well, yeah, that's what people are saying. People are saying like there had to be like a lot of black people who are in the process of like things getting approved. Like there had to be at least one that looked and been like, hey, that's blackface. Can't do that.
Yeah.
Which makes you think like I want to see what their sales look like in like 2 months because I feel like they might go up.
I don't know, man. I was at a party last weekend and I have a lot of black friends.
Yeah.
And I saw a lot of Gucci, man. I saw a lot of Gucci.
Bro, who's throwing out Gucci after you buy it?
That's what I'm saying. Nobody's going to stop wearing a $500 belt.
Right? Who's throwing away that belt?
Yeah, I was throwing it away.
Like I saw 50 Cent burning a lot of Gucci. That's 50 Cent. He's good to do that.
Yeah,
he could burn his whole wardrobe
Gucci.
if he wants, right?
So what's the new one now? Because Gucci doesn't going to mean good anymore.
Yeah, right. That's so true.
Yeah, we need a new brand, guys.
You Louis.
That's Louis, bro. It's all right.
Yeah, that was something. I wonder what their sales are gonna look like. It's like almost like they did I don't know if they're smart enough, but it's like they did the inverse of what Nike did with Colin Kaepernick. Right?
Yeah,
like
even
Nike,
that had some controversy.
That had a lot of controversy, and like
how do you feel about that?
What, when they did that?
Yeah,
I liked it. I knew, but right away I knew what they were doing.
Yeah,
because like when you saw on social media people burning their Nike shoes and getting rid of it,
right?
You saw a lot of Kyles, a lot of Chads that were burning their stuff.
Yeah.
These guys care about Jamal.
Yeah.
Nike cares about what Jamal is doing because Jamal is not gonna. He's getting new shoes multiple times throughout the year.
Yeah.
Whereas these people who are burning the shoes, they might get like 2 pairs
every
in like
2 years.
2 years. Yeah, exactly.
It's
right?
True. It's true.
So it's like go with who your customers are, really.
Yeah.
Like.
But I don't think that was anywhere close to the blackface stuff that's going on.
No, not nearly. That's why it was like the opposite. Like Nike went inspiring.
Yeah.
And it was like Gucci went like the other way.
Yeah, Gucci was just like slap in the face. Like, yeah, I don't know. That's weird, bro. That's weird.
But like
mind blowing.
But who knows, right? Who knows where their sales would be at?
Right. But they're also so big that they didn't just do it for no reason.
That's exactly.
They thought about it.
Yeah.
Right. So
there's
some strategy there. I don't know what it is. It looks stupid to me, but
you just can't tell until you're like But
they've been doing this for years, making billions.
Yeah, until you can see all the numbers of what they're doing. Like,
if the numbers go up,
then it made sense, right?
Yeah. If the numbers stayed the same, it didn't matter, and unless they go down significantly, it still doesn't matter.
Yeah. Who knows? I mean, like they do that, and then who's to say that all of a sudden, maybe even a couple months from now, they go more inclusive and they hire a bunch more African American staff or just people in color in general. Now they're more inclusive.
And their commercials, anything.
Right? Like, and then all of a sudden it's like, hey, we did this and we've learned from it and now we're better. And that might even boost their sales.
Right?
You have no idea what their game plan is.
Yeah, it's true.
Because Gucci's not going away in a year.
Nah.
Gucci's going to be around for as long as clothes are around.
I think so. I think so.
Like, I don't think they're gonna wash up over one controversy.
Right.
And it gets them in social media, right?
Yeah, they were the headlines for like 4 days.
Yeah, trending, right?
Trending.
I don't know, man. It's kind of crazy.
Good. That's crazy.
But yeah. But yeah. So, what else? I know you want to shoot for brands and all of that stuff. You want to go big. Have you ever thought of doing anything like, I interviewed this guy Kane, and Kane's a photographer. He uses 35 millimeter film, but what he does in his process is he'll do a photo shoot with somebody, and then after he's done the photo shoot, he'll learn about the person and be like, okay, now that I know all these things about you, I have to go. And he'll leave the photo shoot. Like, he'll just be like, all right, we're done. And then he's not done. He goes and finds another picture of something else that clearly is like that person, like identifies that person completely. And then he'll do a double exposure thing with that and the person.
Okay.
And he that's just like what he does. Every photo shoot that he does, that's what he does like afterwards. And it's like from more like artistic vibe. Would you ever consider doing stuff that's like more artistic like that?
Yes and no, but the thing that I've been learning more of lately is a little bit more graphic design. Because I would love to manipulate photos as well, which I'm not good at. I'm a great photographer, and you know, when it comes down to the finished product of a photograph, I think I'm pretty much like at the top of where I can get to, you know, for people and stuff, right?
Go ahead, don't be shy. Say it, fuck it.
Yeah, I'm a champ. No, okay. But I want to learn how to manipulate photos, right? So I can create content and things like that better. But artistically, stuff like that, not really my thing. But I could definitely see myself making a photo of like something I'm working on right now is like a person that's like in a photo that's like, there's a picture of a desert, and then there's like a circle, and it's like a portal almost. And on the other side of that photo of that portal is the photo of this person in like a beach.
True.
Right.
Yeah.
So that's something like stuff like that I could, you know, I would like to do.
Really?
Yeah. Or even when you see ads for Nike or something, and the guy's like stepping, or like when you grab like a bottle of Gatorade, for example, and then his hand's made of water because it's just so refreshed, you know?
Yeah.
Like I want to do stuff like that.
True.
But more for the purpose of advertising or to add impact to the image for whatever it is that I'm projecting.
Yeah.
But not like, I don't know. I don't shoot for fun, really. I'm not.
True. I like, that's a good mentality to have too, right? Like,
yeah. If I shoot like the things that I like for fun, but I don't shoot like, I don't go out and look for photo adventures like when the trees are frozen, like
guys with photo adventures.
I'll have an adventure with taking photos with friends or something, and go out and take photos of that person and do different whatever, and just have a day out and do it. But like I was saying, like when the trees were frozen, a lot of people went out there who are artistic, who shoot nature, who love it. Kobe, for example, he got some cool photos of nature, you know, like he goes out to actually shoot nature. Right.
100%.
And but that's also what he's great at. Right. Some of his photos are epic. He's got like a white owl.
You see that eagle?
The eagle.
Yeah.
Right.
That was crazy.
He's got like birds in prey right now. Like like just in action. Like he's a good.
He knows what he's doing.
Yeah, he knows what he's doing. Right. But what interests somebody doesn't interest somebody else, right?
Obviously. Yeah. True. Yeah, I was wondering that. Like, but what you just said is very artistic. But you just gear it towards like.
But I would do that for an advertising.
Yeah, exactly.
And I want to be able to be that guy to do it, because that's where I feel the next level of my skills need to go.
True.
I've spent, you know, for me, it's about spending 100% of your energy on one thing, as opposed to dividing it between two. Because as soon as you have something else, whether it's 2 or 3 things, if you have 2 things that you have to focus on, you cannot give either of them 100% of your dedication and time. You can't, because there's more than one thing to focus on.
Yeah.
So I think now that I've spent the 100% of my time working on being the photographer that I am today, and I've gotten to a point where I'm never going to forget that. And then I spent more time learning lighting and techniques of how to do more studio stuff, because that was my weak point for a while.
True.
Now I've got the studio and the lighting. Now I've got how to take a proper photograph. Now I know how to do skin retouching, how to this and that, right? Now I want to get into photo manipulation.
True.
Right? Now that I don't have to learn about photography, I can learn about design.
True.
Yeah, and that's the next level for me. So that's the next stage for me. So that's what you'll see probably by the end of this year.
True.
There's a lot more stuff that's designed. All the flyers that I made recently for myself with the headshots with the wedding photography, perfectweddingphotography.ca's stuff. that is like
the best wedding photography in the city.
Hey
Guys.
it's perfect. No, but that's kind of, I made that flyer, and those are just little things, right? So now I want to get more creative, so I can create, like, I want to take what I see and make it a reality.
True.
Yeah.
That's actually really cool, actually really inspiring, that you know what you want to do so clearly.
Yeah,
because that's like the one thing that I have trouble with, because I feel like I could do so many things, but like it's hard to just pick it and just gravitate towards the one thing. That's really, yeah.
But everything has levels, right? It's like stairs. You can't get to the next level unless you climb 10 or 20 steps, right?
Yeah, it's true.
So, but once you master the art of the first level, you can go to the next one, right? So it's always good. Like even you and your setup and everything here, right? You didn't just start. You didn't just pick up your camera and say, "Wow, guys, it's perfect. This is awesome. I'm interviewing everyone now. The lighting's great. I can see everything. My angles are on point." You know what I mean? We all start somewhere, and then later you're gonna say, "Hey, I tried this." You're gonna watch like 10 of your interviews and say,
"Yeah,
you know what? This is great. This is perfect for what I can do with what I have now. Oh, I know what I can do next." And then boom, you're gonna focus on that.
Yeah.
So
that's exactly what happened, actually.
Yeah.
After I did my last interview,
yeah,
I was like, I gotta set the cameras up like this.
Right.
Like I had never done this kind of view before.
This is a perfect view, I think.
But as soon as I saw it, I was like, oh, this is how it should be.
Cool.
I'm like, this is how it should have been the whole time.
Right.
Because I kept setting up like one camera would be here and it'd be like kind of eye level, but I was like, I don't like that side of me, and I didn't like that view. And then the other one was head level here, and I was like, I don't really like that either.
Yeah.
For the kind of lens that I have going on. So I was like, let me put it up and see what that looks like. And I was like, yo, this is,
I think the angle's good, and it gives you more of that reality, because this is a radio show, essentially, with a video.
Yeah, exactly.
So
you want to kind of see
that.
that.
And this is more of a, like, this angle too projects more of like a behind the scenes.
Yeah.
Right? Because if you had it lower, we'd be more documentary.
Yeah.
And that's just an angle. But that's another thing, photography, videography, angles. It's all about angles, right?
Yeah, that's why I always say, man, like I wish I learned photography first going into video, because even what you just said, I didn't know any of that.
But I think this is harder.
I just tried this and it worked. All of a sudden you broke it down why it didn't work.
Why does it work now? Why didn't it work then?
Yeah, exactly. Like that's the thing that you get when you really go into photography, I think.
We should do a vlog. Another one about techniques.
I'm down for that.
We should totally do that.
We can
help people.
We can do a documentary about it.
True.
That's the thing I want to do the most. That's the thing in 2019. I have to make a documentary.
Okay.
Like even if it's just a mini doc that's like 20 minutes, like I have to make one.
so many ideas. Like you have no idea.
Because like that's.
I don't think the show would be long enough. I think the show would be too long if I started talking to you about all my ideas and continuing of the conversation that we had randomly the other day. Because that touched base. Our conversation the other day touched base on a lot of relevant things to our lives right now in terms of growth.
Yeah.
And I think we also touched base on a lot of questions that other people have.
True.
You know what I mean?
True. Yeah, I know what you mean.
Yeah, I think so.
Man. Yeah, well, you know what? I got to change a battery. But then I want you to give me one of these ideas. I want you to tell me one of them. When do you have to be out of here, by the way?
Oh, I got to go half an hour ago, so.
Holy fuck.
No, I'm just messing with you.
Bro, that happens to people all the time. They'll be like, I had to go at 7:30. I'm like, what?
That's awesome.
That literally happens all the time. Oh, fuck. Yeah, that was like the big thing. Because the first time I picked up a camera, that's what it was for. It's because I wanted to make documentaries.
Is this mine?
Yeah.
It says coffee.
Cafe.
That's what I meant.
What's this one? Man, the big thing that I envision is wait till this happens and I just have somebody to do this for me.
This?
Yeah, what I'm doing right now.
And then you just run the show?
Yeah.
It's the process, and then...
Yeah, right?
Yeah, why not?
Like that's
Dude, I know people that would be down to be the interviewer and stuff for sure.
Like, I just want to... Like, I need to get to a point where I have somebody... Like, if you ever watch, like, Joe Rogan, he has this guy, Jamie.
He does the interview, and then he throws in his 1-2...
Yeah, well, Jamie's actually, like, running the cameras. Making sure camera 2 activates.
Oh, you mean somebody on the cams? Yeah.
Yeah. That's what I would want.
And you still do the interviews?
Yeah.
Okay.
I love interviewing. I've been studying interviewers for years now. That's always been a really big passion of mine. From time. Bang. So we're still on the audio. I mean, we're still on the audio, but
Yes, sir.
But yeah, tell me one of these ideas, bro.
Whoa.
One of these documentary ideas.
All right, one of the documentary ideas, eh? I mean, there's just so many. I'm thinking technically, you know what I mean? With whatever you do, of how to capture the essence of your conversations.
True.
You know what I mean? Because you can't just. You can literally just sit here and have a documentary, and all you need
pull it closer a little bit.
And all you need to do is ask the right questions.
Of course.
But let's say we're doing a documentary about my upbringing and, you know, starting off as a rapper and this and that, right?
Yeah.
Then you need like B-roll. You know
True.
what I mean? Maybe like a picture of like, or a video of something, or me writing on a paper, writing out some lyrics, right? Like that's all growing and building, right? And then you have that uplifting music, and
True.
right, and you right, and then it goes from just speaking about what you're doing to really feeling what you're speaking about.
True.
Right, which is better, right? Like that, right? And then like some B-roll, taking a photo or following a photo shoot or behind the scenes, right?
Okay.
All stuff like that, for sure.
So this is like because this is like a cinematic interview.
I like the cinematic interviews.
Yeah.
Because you can do documentary style, but then you just get yourself like a nice Airbnb even.
True.
Right? And something with some nice brown leather couches, put a TV in the background with whoever, you know, says the process and who you're interviewing, and right, things like that, right? Just some things that are visually appealing.
Yeah.
But subtle, right? If you're going to do straight documentary. Nice tree in the background. Right?
Yeah, something.
Yeah.
That's actually true. When I first started, before I even got my cameras, I was telling this filmmaker guy, I was like, I want to do cinematic interviews. I'm like, I want my interviews to look as cinematic as possible. And he's like, what does that mean? And I'm like, I don't know yet.
Is that what it means? What I kind of
yeah. When you start feeling out what you're doing as opposed to just doing it, you know?
Yeah.
Like create, like the best way I can describe it, like, I don't know, have you ever watched like Breaking Bad?
Yeah.
And like there's certain I can't remember what scene it is, but there's certain points where they create like a real vibe where they'll be talking about like some real shit.
Yeah.
And like they create like this real,
you know what, a lot of the feelings that you feel from watching shows come from background music that is so subtle you don't notice it's there.
Yeah.
Because it's creating an energy, right? So whether it be like a deep note on a piano or some bells chiming, you know, for things like that, right?
Yeah, it's true. Or even sometimes even just the silence between two people as they're talking.
Yeah.
Like the pause in between, because that builds up.
But a lot of times, like there are some cases where it's just straight silence. But I'm gonna say from what I've like, because I've actually like consciously thought about these things when I watch movies and stuff, and most of the time there's like a little ambience in the background.
Yeah,
it's just a silence. We're not talking, but there's like a
true,
like there's something, you know, like a hum.
Yeah,
or whatever.
Exactly
right?
Yeah, and you won't be aware of it really because you're so focused on.
Yeah, you're just like what, and you're like, oh my god, the tension, right? But there's a sound to tension.
True.
There's a sound to happiness. There's a sound to frustration. There's a sound to anger. You know, there's.
True. Yeah, that's actually very true. Yeah, cinematic interviews. Yeah, help me with that. I want to do that because I've always wanted to, like, my ideal thing when it came to interviews. I remember when I first started thinking about doing interviews, I was like, man, if I could have like 5 cameras, because I'd want like all these different weird angles and shit going on.
Yeah, so when someone's talking to you, they got their face from the side and their front while they're speaking, and it's just like,
yeah, exactly. Yeah. That's actually why I bought that. I bought a 50 millimeter lens, prime lens, and I want to create like a very portrait like shot, kind of like right in front, and then I want to kind of like feather 2 lights in front of the person, and then have one at the back. So it kind of creates like a little bit of a silhouette.
A halo almost?
Yeah, a little bit, like very faintly.
For a photo?
No, I want like people to like talk like
while
that.
they're speaking?
Yeah, cool. Yeah. That thing I did with the politician with my friend Bard, that's how he had the shot set up. Like that's what he wanted. He wanted this real interview with the person where he's just talking and like he's just talking to the camera like directly into it. Okay. And it just makes it gives it a more intimate feel. Yeah. And I want something like that.
Yeah, when they're talking to the camera, but then you see it from an angle as if you're watching the interview as well, right?
Yeah, and then he also had me set up one from the side. Right. That was, I think, an 85 millimeter, like right there. Okay. And it was like, and then we also had another light come up like that, so you can also see that same kind of silhouette kind of thing. Cool. So
we got 3 more cameras right there.
True. Fuck. I didn't even think of that. I didn't even ask you about the bag when you came.
Well, when I came and I saw how nice your setup was, I was like, I don't want to be that guy. It looks good. Let's just leave it.
True. Yeah, I completely forgot about that. Yeah. But yeah, that's exactly the kind of stuff that I wanted to do to begin with, because I just feel like the best thing, and I'm sure you can relate in business and anything you do, the best thing to do is differentiate yourself. Yeah. And I've just never seen anybody else really doing anything like that.
Well, I don't think there's a lot of people doing vlogs right now. Yeah. That are doing it consistently.
Yeah, I mean, like there's a few, but it's definitely not saturated. Like this is a podcast.
I mean, podcast.
Yeah, true. Yeah. Even truer when it comes to podcasts. Like the ones that you see doing it consistently are like the ones you see. Yeah. You know? But like, there's so many, like in Toronto, there's so many people doing podcasts and stuff like that. I've met them. Like, I see them. Like I've seen podcast networks and stuff.
But are you watching them?
No.
Exactly.
Yeah. Are you watching them? No. I just checked them out because I just wanted to see. I remember at one point I wanted to see what kind of podcast people were making in Toronto.
What we should have done though? What? We should have went live.
On what? Like Facebook Live? Yeah, I could have set up my phone. I could have set up my phone and done that. Yeah. That was the only thing I could think of. I want to get it to the point where I can actually have these live. That's what I really want to
You can do that. These just have to plug into an interface that plugs into your computer.
Which I have. That's what I have.
Oh, well then. You just need a program to do it then.
True.
I don't know how to do that though. So
neither do I. Gonna learn though, because that would be the thing, right? Like getting this going live would be pretty cool.
Yeah, but there's also other cameras that you can get that are just like for streaming, I think.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure there is. There's a bunch of stuff you can do.
So many things, so many options.
But yeah, man, I wanna do something like that. That's actually a really good idea. I forgot that I even thought of that until you brought that up. Until you brought up like all the angles and everything. Yeah. Because like that's still something I haven't. The reason I drifted away from it is because I didn't have a grasp of it. Like every photographer I meet, they instinctually know this stuff because they're constantly like finagling angles and everything. Yeah. But with video, you're just like, is it good enough? All right, it's good enough. Let's press play.
Yeah, no, this is good. I like this.
Yeah,
I look good from this angle.
Yeah, that's what I thought. Right, that's why I set it up like that. I was like, yo, I think this is gonna look sick. It was so funny. Like directly after I finished my last interview, I'm like, this is gonna be higher for JJ. I'm like, I'm gonna make sure this looks much better for him.
Hey.
And then I even tested it out that night, and I was like, oh yeah, this is shit.
That's dope.
This is how it's gonna be from now on.
Sick.
Yeah. I forgot they can go this high. That's why when I figured it out, I was like, oh yeah, these things can go like 10 feet in the air if I need them to.
Right.
So get it like that. But yeah, let's do some documentary stuff, man. Definitely.
I'm down.
If you're down.
I'm down to go do a photo shoot right now outside as soon as we're done.
Photo shoot. Man, I had to shoot some of that video outside. It was like a day where it's like minus 15, probably something like that. That's crazy.
I just shot my first real estate video with one of my new cameras, and I shot it in 120, which I never did because I never had 120 capabilities before, right?
Yeah.
So I had 4K and this and that, and I shot it at 120, and I just basically took my knowledge of slow motion, which isn't a lot, but it's basic.
Yeah.
And I applied it, and I used my gimbal to shoot them, and it looks really good.
Really?
Yeah, it's super smooth. It looks like I use stabilizers and not just a gimbal.
True.
Yeah, so
sick.
Yeah. Can't wait to shoot some more video. It made me really like want to just shoot some stuff to see
what you can
what I can do with it, and just to like, you know, get that cinematic slow-mo approach to things.
Yeah, from everything you just explained, like you seem like you could make a film pretty easy.
Yeah, I think I could.
Yeah.
I have good knowledge with cameras.
Yeah, because you were able to explain that really well.
Yeah.
Like really well.
Okay.
Like as soon as you started explaining, I'm like,
Hit me up for videos.
I'm like, that's what I'm trying to say when I say things. Like you just did it perfectly. Yeah, you should consider that big time.
There you go.
Because a big part of, like, I feel like a big part of filmmaking is like the feeling of things, more so than. But in order to capture the feeling of things when you're doing film, you have to know the technical stuff of it all.
Yeah.
You know, they like go. It's odd, but they go hand in hand.
I wanna shoot, like I was saying to you the other day. I want to shoot a music video, right? Because I feel like it's creative, but we could even make just like a simple one, just to see, you know, just as a stepping stone to look back at it first. Because a music video is pretty simple. You have your subject, you've got your 3.5 minutes to work with, and every shot, every scene that you do, you're shooting the artist composing the whole song, and then you're also getting them to shoot as just being in the moment.
Yeah, of course.
And then you're just clipping which looks good singing and which looks good as the moment or the B-roll.
Yeah, definitely.
Of it. And then you're just combining the two. And then the B-roll, you just basically have to get some interesting footage, right? And I feel like I want to build something like just to see and test out like different lighting and the slow motion. I got to try the slow motion stuff. I have to try it with some, you know, something that's moving, you know.
Yeah, of course.
You know, stuff like that, right? So I think that's kind of cool, like car scenes and this and that, and see how to get the right lighting and this.
True.
So it's interesting. Definitely want to try something.
Bro, like I think 2020 you're gonna be making films. You're gonna go
videos.
from that design aspect of things, and you're just gonna start making films.
Photos to design to video.
Bro, that's what happens with a lot of people. Like as they go through and they like learn photography and stuff.
Yeah.
I mean, at the very least, you could be a director of photography on a film.
You're right. I like doing directing.
Yeah. That's what I like the most too.
It's fun. Like I've been to music video shoots and I've just been like, so why don't you try this? Or hey, all of you guys should go do that. You guys group together, put that there, put this here, try this shot, but use this angle, put the light over there,
right? And you're doing all that because you have,
just because I see it,
you know how a picture would look.
Yeah, because I know what.
That's exactly why I think I always feel like I should have learned photography first, because that's the thing that you get.
Yeah.
That if you just learn video, you don't have that mindset.
Right.
Because you never think of things in pictures. You always think of things in video shots.
Right.
You know.
It's true.
And it's so good, because that's how you set up a good video shot, is to get that first picture and let it kind of move.
Right.
And exist.
Yeah, it's true. Like I told you, I'm self-taught, right? So I watch a lot of videos and things to learn.
Yeah.
And in the process of doing that, I've seen a lot of tutorials on other things randomly, right? So I'm like, oh, that's cool, and I'll just watch it, right? Or like how to create like a rain scene in a video, or like the last video shoot I was on, they were using a lot of smoke and a lot of harsh lighting, and then I was like, hey guys, why don't you just put the light behind the artist and smoke it out, and then it's going to be a silhouette.
True.
And it was cool. It came out awesome.
True.
Right? So
yeah.
And it was something that wasn't planned as part of the shoot,
Yeah.
but I think might add an impact, like a great impact to it.
For sure.
I haven't seen it yet. It's not out yet. It's brand new, but we'll see that soon.
Sick.
And then I'll be like, hey, it's my name in the credit.
Right? That's how it goes.
Yeah,
Get
yeah.
that little dopamine boost.
Yeah.
Check that box.
Probably
off.
won't be in the credits, but it should be.
Yeah, right? As long as you were there.
Yeah.
As long as you've learned from what you did.
Exactly. I just want to see what it looks like now.
Yeah.
That'll be exciting.
True.
And if you guys are listening to this, you know who you are.
Yeah. Man, that's actually really sick. Man, you've made me I'm thinking about this now. Yeah, I definitely got to do a music video. I got to make a documentary.
That's it.
And I
want a documentary with some like harsh lighting, like some shadow contrast and
yeah, something. All depending on what the subject matter is, but yeah, definitely. I know I want to do a documentary on psychedelics.
Yeah.
I want to interview a bunch of people who have done psychedelics, like good and bad experiences, and just do that and see what that looks like how many experiences I can get on camera.
Yeah.
And then what that all looks like. I think that might be the first one I pursue.
So I always wanted to go downtown and just take photos of like strangers.
Yeah.
And just make a collection of like
you should.
People and all over Toronto that I just took like a quick photo of in their element, like just right now. But I think it'd be kind of cool to do a video.
A video like that?
Yeah, to go there and just be like, hey guys, we're just going around asking people what their number one piece of advice is to.
That would be
motivational advice. What's your what motivates you, and just give them like a 3 minutes of.
Yeah, that would actually be a really good one.
They're kind of cool, right?
What motivates Toronto?
Yeah.
That would actually be sick.
Right? That's what I'm saying.
Let's do that. I'm down to do that. That would be great.
And that could be 2 cameras. That could be a 3-person job. That could be you, somebody beside you, and somebody down the street.
Yeah.
Or across the street.
True.
Because think about that 200, like an angle on a 200, just watching the interview happen.
Yeah.
While the interview is happening on this camera.
True.
Yeah.
Fuck. Wow.
That'd be cool, right? And that's already instant traffic.
Yeah.
Right?
Of course.
Hashtag the process on our t-shirts. What up?
See? Jesus.
I'm all about networking.
Yeah, right?
I know how to get things out there.
That's yeah, you've
It's all about doing it though. Sometimes these things, like, you can't do that alone.
What?
You can do that alone.
Oh, no, because that's
unless you interviewed them with a GoPro on your chest, like.
Yeah, you'd need audio, and then even the GoPro, you'd have that fish eye.
Yeah, shit. Right. Like you could like. There's always a way to do things by yourself.
Yeah.
But you wouldn't enjoy it, and it wouldn't be as good if you did it by yourself. You know what I mean?
No, it's nerve-wracking.
Like that's something. Yeah, like that's something when you go out with a team and you're like, bro, this is happening. Yo, guys, let's get it. We're getting it. We're doing this. You know?
Yeah.
Same thing with photographer. Same thing as anybody as an entrepreneur.
It's true.
You can only get so far by yourself before you require more, because.
And then it's so much better.
Yeah, if you can get the more. Like I've worked with really reliable people, and I've also been flaked on.
100%.
Yeah.
And it's like, yeah, it's true.
You know what I mean? Or I've had people like, hey, come, I want you, they're like, oh, I'm new to this. I want to be a photographer. It would be great, like, if you could help me out. And I'd be like, you know what? Sure, I'll help you. Or like, if you want to come to events with me and I'll teach you how to like adapt to certain environments or whatever environment I'm at.
Yeah. Watch
and
what
like,
you do.
Will I get paid? I'd be like, will you get paid for me to teach you how to take photos?
That's amazing, eh?
Right.
Wow.
That happens like a lot. Like a lot. And I don't want to just go and teach just anybody what I do.
Yeah.
I got to find somebody that's reliable that I can say, yo, I want you to go handle that event because I know that you're going to go and represent the company in the right way, right?
Do the exact things that I just showed you how to do.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's a big problem with people. I don't know. My first year of doing video, I did everything for free. Like, and it wasn't like I was doing
free stuff.
Yeah, I wasn't doing like crazy shoots for free, but like I literally put an ad in Kijiji and I was like, I'll do free with video work and I'll give you like a 2-minute video or something like that.
Right.
I just did a bunch of stuff just for portfolio. And yeah, a lot of people thought I was crazy. They're like, "You're just gonna do it for free?" I'm like, "Yeah." I'm like, "Fuck, what am I supposed to do?" Like,
Right? How are they gonna hire me if they have nothing to see?
yeah, exactly. And then I remember it led to me like doing a video series with like a yoga teacher, and then from there I had like an actual piece of something,
Right?
and somebody who had a website who you could go back to, and then from there I started getting the doctors that portfolio built, because doctors keep their videos up and
Right.
keep their websites up because their business has to stay going
Yeah,
and everything.
yeah, yeah.
So, and then from there, it just all made sense. You become more credible.
Right.
Doing free shit will make you more credible in the end, as long as you use it properly.
Yeah, as long as you're consistently creating content, or you have content that's good to show. Like when I put up my website and I put up some really good work,
Yeah.
I feel like even if I didn't put up more work now, you can go on there and see the caliber of work that you can expect from me.
100%. That's exactly what I have with my website. I haven't put anything up on it
Until
maybe
like I
8
get to that
months.
next level,
Yeah.
there's no
that's how I
point,
feel.
because I've already kind of,
It's just more of the same.
it's just more of the same, just different people, different places.
That's exactly what I have. Like right now I have a bunch of stuff that, like, if you look at my website, it's like, can this guy help me with my web presence? Yes.
Exactly.
Like I can see.
Can he create can he manifest what my vision is?
Yeah.
Yeah.
He can do a little animation. He can do the talking head videos. He obviously has the audio equipment. Everything looks good. Like, and that's all I really need there for now.
Mm-hmm.
And then I want to do something different. I want to do like a doc, like I was telling you, or like something different. And then I can put that up there and be like,
Yeah.
now I'm more than what I was before.
That's true.
That's what I really want to get to. Yeah, that's sick. Man, so let's do it. Bro, that's actually a really good idea.
Yeah.
That's a really good idea. What motivates Toronto? Because that's completely in line with me and what I do.
Yeah.
I love motivating people, and I love talking about motivations and stuff like that.
Right.
So
And you want to be a host?
Yeah, right?
And
That would be a sick one.
and I don't, so I'll help you video it.
True.
Yeah.
But will I get paid?
You will. You'll feel so rich at heart after, I promise.
Man, yeah, that would actually be a sick one, because that's such a, what I like the most, like when I went into this podcast, like a lot of people will shoot for the top people that they can find in all of Toronto.
Yeah.
And I wanted to shoot for not the top of the top. Like you're actually like the most successful person I've had on the podcast.
And I'm not even at the top.
Right?
No,
But like I like regular people, because like those are the people who I want to inspire to go and pursue more, you know? And that would be such a cool kind of doc concept to do, because you're seeing regular people talk about like what motivates them.
Right.
And you know what I mean? Like, I just think there's something just so cool about that.
Right.
So cool about that.
And it's cool. And everybody just puts in their few minutes, you know,
Yeah.
put your line in, and then we can create like a compilation of it.
Yeah. Easy.
Then you can go to schools.
True.
You can show kids, you know,
That's very
teach
true.
them how to be motivated.
Yeah.
Ask them what motivates them.
True. That would actually be a really good thing,
That'd be rewarding.
because kids are rarely taught to think about what motivates them.
Exactly.
Like young people,
Yeah.
they're not taught to think about what motivates them.
No, I think the most depressing time in my life was high school, bro.
Yeah, we were in the same high school, man.
Yeah.
I was depressed as fuck in high school,
Right.
man.
And high school is all image, right? High school is like, you know, you can't show it.
You had the braids back then.
I had the braids, I had the afro. People weren't sure what to think of me back then.
Man.
I had I had people that were like, oh shit, like watch out for this guy.
Yeah.
And I had other guys that were like, who the hell is this guy?
You were always into something.
And I had guys like, who the hell does this guy think he is?
Yeah. Yeah. There was a lot of that.
Right? But only 2 people tested it out. So
Right?
that's okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I remember that. But yeah, that was a very depressing time for me as well.
Right. But you still go home and you think, because when you're young, when you're that age, you don't know any better. And you don't know what's right from wrong in the real world. You just know what's, you know,
in front of you.
Yeah. And who people think you should be, and what the media is showing. And you got to fake it, you know.
Yeah.
That's crazy over there, right?
You have to just, it was, I straight up just smoked weed. That's what I did. I was like, this is fucked. I just smoked weed the whole time. It's got
Everybody just smoked weed.
Possible. Every day. Like, that's all it was. It was crazy.
Right.
Yeah, and it's because there was nobody to be like, hey,
no guidance.
You should kind of focus on that. Like, it was always in most school, it's focused like get the grade and pass and move on.
Yeah.
And like, that's not enough of a motivator for somebody who's like very young.
And the only questions that were asked is, what do you want to be when you grow up? But like, come on, I didn't know what I wanted to be. Still don't know what like. I'm being what I want to be right now, if that's the answer. But
right,
if you asked me before, I wanted to be a rapper. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And before that, I don't know. I don't know if I wanted to be a rapper for real or not, but I did at some point. I liked the shine, and I had a good time doing it. And then I was like, I don't want to be broke in 30, and I don't want to be a rapper no more.
Yeah. And it's so weird because like, even think of that, like, what kind of question is that to ask some kid? Like,
right?
They don't know that.
Right. Like, we're looking like the age we are now.
They don't even know the options.
People, and there's still people now that don't know what they want to be.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? There's people in college that just go to college for 2 or 3 years and then be like, the hell am I doing?
Yeah. 100%.
And then waste all that time
and money
because somebody told them they had to pick something right then.
Yeah.
But then like, I didn't go to college.
Yeah.
No, I didn't. I went to a college and it was like,
I went for 3 months.
I don't know.
Then I dropped out.
Dated a girl from college.
I couldn't do it. But yeah, man, like you don't even, and we're not told the options like when you're that age.
Right.
And nobody tells you what you're good at. They only show what you're good at through your grades.
Right.
Because like right now we're sitting here, you're doing photography, I'm doing video. But when I was in high school, I wasn't even allowed to be in the media arts section. I wasn't even allowed at that part of the school.
Okay, all right.
I wasn't even allowed there.
Damn.
Like, they wouldn't let me into that class because like you needed some kind of like art prerequisite or something. And I was like failing all the classes. But like, if I was just in there, I probably would have figured this out a lot earlier.
Right.
I would have been like, oh, I like this. Like, I like this a lot.
Yeah.
Who knows, right? I don't know. It's weird, the system. But yeah, that would be cool to then show kids after, make them think about motivation.
Yeah, because it's not about the system. It's literally like nowadays, as long as you have a basic understanding of life, and you can read and write, and do basic calculations, like you can do something with your life.
100%.
Right? You don't like people that aren't educated. They doesn't mean that they can't do anything.
Yeah, and it doesn't mean that they can't learn.
They can't learn. You don't need school to learn, I guess is kind of what I'm saying.
Yeah.
You need school for certain things, but all the main things, like if I had a school, like there's things that I would teach that were never taught, and there's things that I wouldn't teach that were taught.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because unless you're trying to be like a rocket scientist or, a biologist of something with, half of the classes I took were irrelevant to me.
Right.
Like I didn't need to dissect that frog or pig.
Man, again, I wasn't even allowed to do that.
They just didn't want you near the knives.
That's what it was.
Just kidding.
100%. That's what it was.
That's so funny. What else? Like math equations that I've never used in my life. I don't need those, right? But stuff like that. But like, come on, it would have been great to learn about taxes.
Yeah, that's exactly what I was thinking.
And business, and and not just business. Like this business was successful in 1900 because and founded by like who cares?
How to register one?
How do you register one? How do you build an app?
Something, man.
How do you register? How do you get the biggest return from a job? Anything.
Yeah. How do you know when to stop?
Yeah.
How do you know when to stop a business?
What can you write off?
How do you sell it?
Right.
How does that work?
Yeah. How do you change ownerships? How do you create partnerships?
Yeah. You know what I mean? Right. Yeah. All that stuff would have been great.
How do you get your business insured?
100%.
Everything.
Like it's weird.
Leasing equipment so you can write it off as opposed to purchasing it.
Yeah.
Right.
It's so weird.
Leasing vehicles. What can you write off in a business?
Yeah.
There's so many things.
Oh shit. Yeah, what can you?
A lot.
There's a lot. I don't even know many of them.
Yeah. What's the difference between a sole proprietorship and
right?
incorporation?
Yeah. Why incorporate anything? It's weird. It's weird what we were taught in school. Yeah, thinking back to high school, I hated high school so much.
Yeah. I didn't like high school.
Yeah, I remember you running around. You were running around all the time.
It's everywhere. I don't even remember. That's how bad I hated high school.
It's so funny.
He's got my hair braided in the stairwell
Yeah.
by the girls from St. Lucia.
Yeah. With the white bandana that you put on over.
Those
after.
girls had some serious braid ups. I mean, like there was everybody did a good braid up. Like a lot of people did a good braid up, but the girls from St. Lucia, they were really good. Can't remember her name.
I don't remember any of them.
I don't remember anybody's name from high school except for the people I still see and like the ones that tried to fight me.
Yeah, right. I try not to associate. No, I don't try not to associate.
I just don't.
Yeah.
It doesn't fall into my lifestyle anymore. I'm not around it. It doesn't matter.
Yeah, exactly.
My lifestyle. I don't even see anybody from high school really unless they're creative.
Yeah, that's what I've noticed as well. So, all for the best. It's so weird. So weird the way things play out.
Right.
Can you imagine you're in high school and somebody came up to you and they're like, one day Colin's going to interview you on his podcast.
Right. Yeah, like in Max Milk.
Yeah. He said to learn about photography. He'd be like, what?
I'd be like, okay.
Be like, what's a podcast?
Yeah. Why would I know photography?
How am I going to teach him about photography?
Back when I used to like BMX and skateboard. Like,
fuck.
Yeah.
So what do you got going on today? Like, what else are you going to do?
This was just it. That's just my process. I got to get a couple of things ready for a wedding client, throw together their digital albums on some USBs.
True.
And package it all up nicely. Perfect wedding photography style,
True.
True. And then I'm going to meet up with them tomorrow.
Sick.
Yeah.
Oh, fuck. I actually have to go through some pictures that I took for a close friend of mine. His sister passed away. He wanted me to get pictures at the reception and everything.
Yeah.
Some family stuff. And he wanted me to do it since we're like family and everything. He wanted like all the family to be doing their part and stuff. So I'm going to be going through that. And then you showed me that Photoshop and Lightroom are some things to use. So I'm going to see about that, getting that and editing those.
Go buy the Creative Cloud.
Yeah.
I stayed away from it from so long, but
yeah,
it's so powerful.
It's so powerful. It's so easy.
But it's definitely worth it, the investment. But I use it on the regular, right? I use it every day. I'm on Photoshop or Lightroom.
Yeah, exactly.
Both.
So I'm going to get that done. That experience actually showed me, like, I took the pictures. I'm like, they look all right. I'm like, man, I should like learn photography more so. That's why
I can teach you based on your photography more.
Yeah?
Yeah.
True, yeah, after seeing something.
Yeah. Well, I can see how your image came out, and I can also see what your camera settings were from the data that's stored in the photo.
Really?
Yeah.
Holy fuck.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
It'll say the camera you shot it with, what focal length your lens was at when you shot it.
Actually?
Yeah.
What?
Yeah. Tell your aperture, your speed, your ISO.
Holy shit.
Yeah. Tell your white balance.
I didn't even know that.
Yeah, I'll tell you everything. Smart system.
That's nuts. Yeah, I got to do that. I got to get all that. I really want to learn photography now, because after doing that, I was like, this is pretty good. This is a pretty good skill to have. Really good skill to have.
I just want to go shoot some 4K video and 120 frames now and just test these cameras out.
It's so funny. We're like switching positions.
Right.
I'm gonna do some pictures. You're gonna do some video.
Yeah. I'll still be a photographer, but it'll be fun to mess with.
Photography.
I just want to see it. I just want to see like certain things. I love clarity. I love to see an image and I'm just like, wow, that's like so real.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
True.
Or like take a photo of like you right now in front of me, but looking the way that you look right now in front of me.
True.
You know what I mean? I'd have to use different lighting to get to it, to make it clear enough as opposed to shooting it on auto and using the surrounding lights and having it make its own settings or not the sharpest quality.
True.
But I'd like to make it as sharp as I can using the best settings, but still keeping the natural light, even though my lighting would be completely different.
True.
You know what I mean?
True. It's like creating the recreating the
recreating
realness.
Something. Yeah, it's recreating it, but real.
Yeah.
Like keeping subtle.
Yeah, I never.
Differences.
That is a different way of looking at it, because like when I talked about, like, I interviewed this girl, Ajua. She's a photographer, 35 millimeter film.
Mm-hmm.
And Kane, he does the same kind of stuff, and they do it the way they do it because it looks so real, right? But then when you actually look at the photo, it looks like it would on film. Like it looks different.
It's
right?
it's not like
it doesn't look like
as high as a resolution.
Yeah, it doesn't look like what you're seeing right now. Right.
You might get more grain, or you might get more. It might be a little more cloudy. Like, yeah, it's just not as vivid.
And I never thought of the aspect, because to me, like, as an artist as well, like, I think of that as like that was the real raw shot. Right. But when you say that, like, getting things very clear in the same, like, that's also real. Yeah. Even though it's like you have to do lighting and all that stuff, it also comes true real, you know?
Like when I take a shot and it looks like a nice, beautiful, sunny day, or it was just like the sunlight, natural light, stuff like that. Mm-hmm. A lot of those images are not natural light, and I just recreated them or added the sun or the sky or whatever in Photoshop, right? Things like that.
True. Yeah. There's something to be said for that, because it's like, as much as it's like that's the digital age, or like that's fake, at the same time it's real. Yeah. Because it's what you would actually see.
Exactly.
Huh. I never thought of that.
That's what I like to do.
True. Sick.
That's where my lifestyle, I like that lifestyle stuff. I'm more of a fashion lifestyle photographer that shoots everything else. Yeah. But I'm a lifestyle fashion photographer. I like that lifestyle. I like to capture the moment, the essence, the energy of whatever is in front of me, and bring it to a still.
True.
Right.
True. I never thought of that. That's making me think different now. Oh shit! What happened? Did it stop?
Oh, now it stopped.
Oh, the card's full. That's why. Holy shit.
Well, this is Jay Gucci signing off.
Yeah, we'll do that, but I want you to say your socials and everything.
Yeah.
Before you do, I always like to let everybody do their plugs, you know?
Look at me now. Hey, look at me.
Actually is a good angle for you.
I can't see me, so I can't see myself.
Oh, shit.
I can't see myself. Oh, okay.
Oh man. But yeah, that card getting full, that means that one's gonna get full soon too. So let's wrap it up. Let's wrap it up. So where can people find you? Where can people find everything you do?
Everything I do. I guess the main place you could find me is my website. It's got a little bit of everything on there. It's www.jguccient.com, jguccient.com. And then I have a separate page for wedding photography, and it's perfectweddingphotography.ca. All of my social media handles are reflective of those two websites. So at jguccient and at Perfect Wedding Photography.
Sick.
Yeah.
Man, come a long way, bro.
It's been a great...
from the first time I sat in your car listening to music, listening to your tracks, to like now, the whole business like capping off and everything.
Right.
And it's like only gonna get bigger.
And likewise too, right? Plaza Days till right now, who would have ever known?
Yeah, it's weird, man. So weird. Thank you so much for being on.
No, thanks for having me.
All right, let's wrap it up. Peace, guys. Process. I'm out.
Hashtag the process.
Man, thank you so much. Oh, shit. That was great, man.
That was a good one. Thanks for having me, dude.
Bro, you don't ramble at all, man. I remember you were saying on the phone you're like afraid you were gonna ramble or something. Well, there you have it, guys. That was Jonathan Levy giving you guys some game there. I love the mentality he has, man. He's always getting after it. Like, I mean, even now he left, went to go edit some pictures. Like, he's always doing it. And that's the thing that I see with these people who are like excelling at what they do. They're just always doing it. And yeah, he's always at it. He's just a huge inspiration to me. It's something when you see somebody, like when people see like Drake, they're like, oh, he's from Toronto, blah blah blah. That gives you like some kind of hope towards, you know, a music career or even making it in anything. But when you see that the person is from like directly, like we're like a couple intersections away from each other, same age, and he's killing it in the same place, almost in the same field. So when I see that, I'm like, oh man, there's so much more that I could do. But then also when I see him do it, I'm like, ugh, do I want to do all that? A lot of responsibility with the things he does. Like he covers weddings and just all sorts of very delicate events, but he always kills it. So hope you guys enjoyed it. I'm going to jump on his stuff right now too. I always jump on everything through the Instagram because whatever, man. Like that's how I do it. He has one Instagram. It is J Gucci ENT. That's J Gucci Entertainment. Go check that out. jguccient.com. He is killing it. And his Instagram is jgucci_MC because he's known to do MCing gigs. He's a rapper. I'm checking out his website now. International photographer. He has an interview up. Wow, wow. This is my first time on his website. His website looks sick. Holy shit. Yep. Doing his thing, guest shoot. Like he's done a lot of different things, man. Definitely go and check him out if you need your wedding shot, if you need any kind of event really shot, and you need one of the best photographers in Ontario, definitely hit him up. All right, guys. Like I always say, and like I might have already just said, not really sure. But like, subscribe, share, rate, review, keep it positive. And if not, that's fine. I won't say fuck you because I won't read it. I won't see it. Actually, I probably will. I sit around in front like I'm not going to. I read comments and stuff. I have to because